I had to put that one on postponement because there is something that's going on right now, a live active shooting at Apalachee, and I'm probably saying that wrong, high school in Georgia. The shooter has been neutralized, but there are several casualties, at least 3 people maybe unalive, and they're saying like over 30 people injured. So let me show you guys.
See the wide view of the high school there, the Apalachee High School in Barrow County. A lot of activity there, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be ending anytime soon. We don't know if the situation has come to an end. Right now, what we do know is that there's a possible active shooting situation at that school. The students have been on the football field for pretty much the past 45 minutes, from what I can see, or even a bit longer than that. And for a time, they were all basically on the track. But what you've seen the past few minutes is they've broken off into the football field, into the end zone, formed circles. You might imagine prayer circles, just to try to help each other through the situation. And as we go back to the area closer to the high school, you see a lot of people. I'm assuming those are police officers, law enforcement there, and nobody seems to really be running around. The activity has seemed pretty much calm, pretty much dedicated to certain areas, and we are working to get the latest information on this. And right now, I'm joined by Channel 2 Action News' Chris Doper, who's sitting down with me right now. And Linda, please got to the news.
Fred, I'm joining you for this live continuing coverage of an emergency happening right now in Barrow County at Apalachee High School. The school has cleared students to go home. I can tell you that we just got word from the governor's office that he is directing all state resources to whatever is needed. Obviously, in a situation like this, the first thing that they want to do is stop the threat and protect everyone else who could be in the area. Reports of shots fired. We have at least one person who has been airlifted from the school. Parents, the community, law enforcement, everyone trying to figure out what has happened and what they need to do now. And you can see from all the cars there, even though we've seen people leave the building, we haven't seen the cars be able to leave at this point yet. So people are being led outside. We just hope that everyone else is okay. As our content center,
there's an active shooting right now at a high school in Georgia.
In-house for us is making phone calls, sending out emails, trying to bring you the very latest. You can see some students, what appears to be students, in the stands right now, and all around the track, around the football field, the practice football field, as they kind of regroup from whatever
right. Thanks, Biden. Right.
Situation might have happened inside that school today. We don't know all the details yet, but we know someone is seriously injured, and it was serious enough that they needed to get everyone outside of the school.
And watching that when that happened, Linda, you saw people rushing that on the stretcher to that life flight helicopter, and you're just hoping for the best, hoping there's not more in that situation.
And I have a statement from Governor Brian Kemp. I'd just like to read it to you. This, again, a statement from Georgia's Governor Brian Kemp. I have directed all available state resources to respond to the incident at Apalachee High School and urge all Georgians to join my family in praying for the safety of those in our classrooms, both in Barrow County and across the state. We will continue to work with local, state, and federal partners as we gather information and further respond to this situation. Again, that was a statement that we just got from Governor Brian Kemp's office. Interesting to point out, he calls it an incident at the school. Directed all state resources, whatever is needed for those local authorities.
Can y'all hear it okay?
According to Governor Brian Kemp, asking all
it was a school shooting.
Of those in all of our classrooms across the state as we focus.
Casualties reported after a school shooting in Georgia right now. The threat has been neutralized, but there are multiple people shot.
Before I get to the work of the task force, I also want to announce 2 major enforcement actions that the Justice Department is taking.
The is on the scene to assist.
First, this morning we unsealed an indictment.
The Justice Department stands ready to help. The Attorney General is saying that he is devastated to hear about what appears to be the school shooting at Apalachee High School.
I don't know the name of the
Just joining
shooter.
us, you're watching live continuing coverage here on Channel 2 Action News. Let me set the scene for you right now. This started at 10:23 this morning when local law enforcement got reports about an active shooter at Apalachee High School just a couple of hours into the school day. What we can tell you right now, multiple people have a chance to take you to Gwinnett County Bureau Chief Matt Johnson. And Matt, you have been out there since the very beginning. You've been talking to parents and students. What can you tell us about the situation right now, Matt?
Yeah, it does seem that a lot more students are leaving with their parents within the last 30 minutes or so. We're seeing, at first we saw mostly just parents leaving. Now students are leaving with their parents. It's unclear exactly what's going to happen next year, as authorities continue to investigate. But the priority on these parents' minds is just getting their kids home.
Getting my child home.
And it looks like they've been cleared to do exactly just that. So as you can just kind of look over here,
That's what I would be on.
Dozens, maybe even hundreds of cars that have parked miles along the way here. These are all parents that parked here.
Y'all hit the like button, share the video so people can see this.
School, and they've been parked there since, as they've been coming here onto the campus to get their kids so they can all leave together. So I think within the next couple of hours or so, we're going to see a lot more cars leaving the area as authorities continue to investigate. Like they said, this is going to take days to really try to understand what happened here. So we're really just getting started on investigating what happened today. It's more than likely the school is going to be closed tomorrow, almost definitely. It's unclear after that. But for now, there's a lot of hard conversations being had from parents to their children about what happened today, how parents can support kids through the trauma they're going through over a devastating, heartbreaking situation here in Barrow County.
Matt Johnson with the latest there. And Matt, I have to tell you, as a parent, what a relief to see that they're being allowed to go home, to see those parents with their students finally able to leave. I also noticed I didn't see a lot of backpacks going out, so I wonder if kids had to leave their stuff in the school when they came out for safety. But again, more than 3 hours into this, it appears the parents and students are being allowed to finally go home and start to regroup and recover.
Let's turn to Channel 2's Courtney Francisco now, who brings us this live update. Courtney?
Justin, we're out here in front of the school where we're seeing a lot more students and parents leave. We're actually seeing some of the first responders leave as well, but you can see there's still a sea of flashing emergency lights out here. We just got the update from the sheriff about the shooting suspect and multiple people injured. I want to tell you that I've been with parents every step of the way. We walked with parents here about 5 miles just running to get to their children. They got this alert at 10:46 this morning saying Apalachee High School hard lockdown after reports of gunfire, and parents were talking to their kids on the phone as they were walking. The kids were describing hiding under desks, holding on to each other. Parents were in tears as they were trying to make their way here.
Courtney, pardon us. Let me get back to you in just a moment, but we've now been able to bring this unfortunate news to you. Sources telling us, and we can report 4 killed today, 4 dead, with the shooter not among them. The shooter, we understand, in custody. So again, if you're just joining us on the school shooting that occurred at 10:23, a series of shootings this morning at Apalachee High School in Winder. This is Barrow County, northeast of Atlanta. Sources now saying 4 dead confirmed, and the shooter is in custody. Courtney?
4 dead, y'all.
Sad news.
Oh, wow.
We were with them every step of the way.
Oh, this is terrible.
5-mile walk to get here to Apalachee High School. They got the alert on their phone from the district at 10:46 this morning saying reports of gunfire, hard lockdown. So they started rushing to get to their children. And one parent was on the phone with her child. They said that they were hiding under the desk, holding on to each other, scared, asking what should they do, and she said hide. They could hear gunfire. They could hear law enforcement saying put the gun down, put the gun down. This was outside their classroom door.
This is terrible, y'all.
They were hugging another student. Then she's walking here, the mother's walking here in tears, talking to us. Listen to what grandparents and parents told to us on that journey.
My daughter texted me, I was at work. She said, Mama, I'm scared. I couldn't respond. Next thing I know, I got another one. There was gunshots. And I'm freaking out. And then she's like, we're on lockdown. I'm hiding under a desk. I'm hugging another girl. I just told her to hide. And if she had to run and keep running until somebody else got her.
11:24 this morning, that mother got the alert that it was clear, and she sent it to me. I'll read you some of it. It said, students can be picked up at the football field. And once she got here, she was able to get to her 2 high school children. They were on the football field just behind me here. And she said that they were praying at times. They were consoling one another, talking about what they heard. And she was able to get her children out of here about 1 this afternoon. Some parents were able to get their students and leave. You see a group right now leaving. We're seeing more and more of that happening. But as you said, Linda, not a lot of backpacks. So we're about to go talk to them and find out what the next step is for students.
And they will have to regroup after that. Courtney Francisco, thank you so much. And again, just to share with you the latest news we have, sources say 4
there has
people
been
are
an
dead.
active shooting
4 families
in
in the
Georgia.
Barrow School community getting the worst
4
news possible
families,
this
4
afternoon.
kids
4 people dead, 1
dead,
suspect
y'all.
in custody, according to sources, as this investigation continues here at Apalachee High School in the Winder area. We know at least 3 people have been treated for injuries, including gunshot wounds. 1 at Grady Hospital, 1 at Northeast Georgia Gainesville, 1 at Northeast Georgia Barrow. We can take you live to Grady Hospital right now. That's where our Channel 2's Audrey Washington is. Audrey, you were there as GBI agents arrived. You were able to show us live.
We were here just as they pulled up in front of Grady Memorial Hospital. They could not speak on the record, but they did tell us off camera that they were here in response to that school shooting. It appears that they will next be speaking
right now
to the victim that was
Georgia.
airlifted here, trying to get some more information about this shooting. Again, I'm just reacting to hearing that 4 people have now been confirmed dead. I got to tell you, when I was a reporter in Connecticut, I covered the Sandy Hook school shooting, and
yes,
I can
this just happened.
imagine
it's happening
what some of these parents are going through. This is just devastating news. I want to give you a live look, though, right here at the scene. You can see those 2 vehicles that you see here behind me. Those are the 2 vehicles that those GBI agents arrived in. And if you look over here to the other side of the building, you can see Grady Memorial Hospital. Right now, it's pretty loud. You can hear a helicopter arriving with a patient. We don't know if this is in any way connected to that school shooting, but my apologies if it is loud right now. But as you said, at least 1 victim is here right now inside Grady Memorial Hospital. For context, this is a level 1.
I don't know if it's students shot, teachers, or what. I just know 4 are dead. The suspect is in custody.
Doctors in the nation, some of the best. So this is basically what they
we need
do.
to pray for these families, y'all.
Gunshot victims like this almost on a daily basis. So the victim who is here right now at Grady Memorial Hospital is getting some of the best care possible. Right now, we are still working to learn the identity of that victim. We don't know if this is a woman or a man, if this is a student or a staff member. Those are some of the details that we are working on at this hour. I can tell you within the last 30 minutes or so, we did receive a statement from Congresswoman Lucy McBath. As you know, Lucy McBath.
I'm doing good, Daisy. How are you doing? Until I heard this news.
Wrote in part, quote, "I am praying for the students of Apalachee High School and the community of Winder. I am praying for families across our state and entire country. Too many continue to experience the pain of gun violence. No family should have to go through this." And of course, we will remain here at Grady Memorial Hospital gathering
again,
more
y'all. This is
details
an active
about
school
victim,
shooting
who was airlifted to
in
Grady Memorial Hospital,
Georgia,
gunshot
just
victim.
now.
As soon as we get more details about this, we will be sure to bring it to you. I'm going to send it back over to you guys in the studio.
Audrey Washington with the latest from Grady Hospital. Thank you very much. An absolute heartbreak for the Apalachee High School community. 4 people dead, 1 suspect in custody.
And we have Courtney Francisco, Channel 2 Action News reporter, live on the scene. And Courtney, you are among some parents.
I am. I have an aunt, a mother, and a student with me, and they're talking up to us about what they know. This young lady said that her classmate was one of those killed or shot. you believe?
Yeah, like one of them was killed, and then I think like 2 or 3 were shot.
How are you feeling right now?
This
Talk
is
to us about
terrible,
which hallway
y'all.
this happened in.
It was on E Hall, and E Hall is like it's towards. I was in the front of the school, so I was like right next to the exit, so I got out fast. But it was in the back of the school, and there is a door there, but it's like towards the back, so maybe he could have gotten through that way. But I wasn't there when it happened.
But you heard something.
Yeah, I did, and then I started to hear the yelling, and then like the cops. It was loud and everything.
Let me talk to you, Mom, about that disturbing information that we just learned that 4 people have died.
Yeah, it's really sad to hear this story. I feel really bad for the moms because I did presence one of the moms that were crying. She couldn't believe that her son died. And I know
terrible.
that all the parents here is the worst nightmare. The worst nightmare.
It's the worst feeling ever because you think it could happen to you, you know, and it's hard.
Can y'all share the
You got
video?
here
There's an
before she
active
was able to get
shooting
here.
in Georgia at a high school.
I drove very fast.
4 are dead.
Yes. I'm in Norcross, and the school sent a message saying that it was a lockout. I didn't know it was real until I texted. I was like, bro, so she didn't answer. I'm like, what happened? And as soon as I went into Facebook, I was like, in Facebook they're gonna say something. It said it was a school shooter and one that I immediately came out. And when she told me, oh mom, I love you.
Oh, I know, Cloven.
I didn't stop crying. I thought that something was gonna happen to her. Is the worst nightmare for her parent.
Can either of you describe what it was like on the football field, what students were doing? Because we were chopper 2 in the air and we could see them huddling. What was happening there?
Everybody was getting together. A lot of the parents.
Again, this is at a high
finding
school
their kids
in Georgia.
It's really right. It's really bad over there. There was a lot of people fainting because it's really hot. Now they're giving water, but we feel really good that we came out of there right now.
We're noticing as students are coming out without backpacks. Were you told to leave everything?
Yes, they told us like when the alarm rang, they told us to leave our phones and everything. But I had my phone in my pocket, so I just ran into the room that she put us in. So we just left everything in there.
What's next for you? Obviously, the school is not going to be happening tomorrow, but what are you doing now?
Well, we were talking about it homeschooling already, you know, because of especially this.
What?
So probably going to need to talk about this more.
You said you never expected it
You
to
know
happen.
what?
No, because it's a nice school. It's a very good school, and you never it's very weird right now.
Yeah, very somber right now as we watch people leave. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Get home safe.
What do you mean,
And there you
TikTok?
have it. Students were told
I'm
to leave
sharing a
everything and
video.
get out. Justin, Linda.
Hey, barbecue lady. There was
I
a
am not
shooting
sure
in
even what
Apalachee High
the
School in
child you were
Georgia.
speaking with, the student at the school
A
that,
mass shooting, 4
is a way it
dead.
could possibly
Suspect
hit
is
that
in
student,
custody
but
at the high
she
school.
lost
I was
classmates
sharing the
and
video.
that she was
TikTok
in
sent
the
me a
midst
message
of
talking about my
something like
live is
this.
restricted because I'm
As you see
sharing
there on your screen,
unoriginal
sources
content.
telling us
Right, I got a
people
violation
have
for
lost their
sharing. Like
lives today in
I'm
Wyandotte, Georgia,
confused.
at Apalachee High School.
Right,
As a result
so
of
I don't
this
even know how we even
morning,
still talking at this moment
10:23
because it
school
just clearly
shooting.
said
A
your
suspect
live
is
has been
in
restricted because
custody.
you're sharing
Others have been hospitalized, we understand, for injuries, and a couple of
unoriginal
other
content or
folks
something. Like,
hospitalized
what are
and
you talking
treated,
about?
we
I'm
understand, in
sharing the
Barrow
story, what's happening
for
right now
anxiety
live, a
and
school
anguish. And
shooting.
I'm sure that is
TikTok.
just the beginning.
Yes, it says
Just
restriction,
a
y'all.
snapshot of what an entire community and
Current live
anybody who's
restricted.
involved
Your live
in
is
the
not
family
eligible for
there, educating
recommendation
these people,
and
anybody who's
restricted
involved
in
is just
search
going to be
results
traumatized for
because
a
it may
long
contain unoriginal or
Those families
reproduced
talked about how
content.
as a parent's
This
worst
is in
nightmare,
line
and
with
that
the
nightmare
For You
continues for
fee
4 families who
eligibility
are getting the
standards under
absolute
our
most
community
serious severe
guidelines.
blood
I'm appealing
trauma
this.
in this shooting today at this high school
Are you
in Barrow
kidding me?
County. As we've been hearing from parents and other family members, they talked about those initial moments just texting with their kids or talking with their kids.
Can y'all
Some
keep
advised us to
sharing the
run,
live? Keep
keep
sharing it.
run. Some because of the situation where they were said hide. Just do everything you can to hide. Others said pray. And there are very emotional
Again, this is
reunions
a
happening
school
right
shooting
now.
happening
If you've
right
been
now
following our
in
live coverage
Georgia.
the last couple of hours,
I'm
we were able to
reporting
show you
live
as
on it. Like,
parents
do I
and
need to
kids
show
started to be
myself in
able
the
to
camera,
leave. They've been
TikTok? Like,
outside
what
for
you want
more
me
than
to
2
do?
hours, waiting for the all clear for them to be able to go
I
home.
see people
Those
share
reunions
videos
are
like this
happening
all the
now.
time on
People
their
walk,
TikTok.
in some cases,
I'm
miles
confused as to why I
to their
can't share.
cars to get home to the safety of their own homes. And we're starting to hear more about the community and how they're responding. A nearby church plans to
This is
open
my
at
first
7
time
o'clock
live on
tonight
TikTok in
adjacent to the
months.
school. just so they can provide.
I tell you, y'all so sensitive. Yeah, y'all want to ban TikTok, but y'all so sensitive.
In the way a community supports each other in these moments. 4 dead, a suspect in custody in Winder, Georgia, at Apalachee High School.
We now turn to Channel 2's Richard Elliott joining us live. Richard.
Don't tell me mine not live for recommendation. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've been reaching out to
this word needs to get out. Parents need to know these school shootings happening so they can homeschool. I need to look into homeschool.
They take off their Republican Democratic hats and they do join together. U.S. Congressman Mike Collins said, quote, Leanne and I are praying for the victims, their families, and all the students at Apalachee High School in Barrow County. We extend our gratitude to law enforcement.
We don't know if it's students unalive or faculty and staff
Sheriff Smith,
or what.
My team will be available to assist in any way
I'm not accepting anybody to go live because I don't know nothing about that.
Possible. State Senator Elena Parent said Apalachee High in Barrow County suffered a mass shooting this morning. As we learn more about what happened, one thing is certain: lax gun laws fuel the horror of school shootings. We owe it to our kids not to live like this. House Speaker John Burns of the Georgia Legislature, the Georgia House, said we are praying for the safety of the students, faculty, and staff of Apalachee High School and the law enforcement.
Why wouldn't they want this information to get out? Situation. That it's a school shooting.
Point out one other thing you touched on it just a little bit. The Georgia Department
Every parent should know that.
Developmental disability. They want to remind people in that community that if they are suffering from emotional trauma, if they need help, they need to talk to someone, you can simply dial 988.
TikTok, if you're going to block some, block Kamala Harris and her lies.
To their staff, they have trained professionals
you want to block
on staff sitting there ready to handle the phone calls, to talk, but also to direct if they need additional help. 988.
Right, block her. Want to block somebody.
Trauma from the situation.
Yeah. Channel 2's Richard Elliott. Richard, thank you for that information. Of course, it's not required across the state of Georgia. It's just a large state. And
y'all was going live on a whole nother topic, and then I saw this, and I was like, oh, no. I'm a mother of 6. I have to get this out.
At Apalachee High, specifically, as you know, into some schools have metal detectors and all kinds of different procedures that happen on a daily basis.
Right. I don't know. It wasn't a student, Jess.
Reporters to see what information.
Nope, it was not a student. Someone from the outside.
Absolutely, and that's
they're not telling who the suspect is, but it was not a student.
The school, which she called the E hallway. Another student said they thought it was near the J hallway. So still trying to piece together exactly where this happened, classroom, hallway, what part of the actual school, and whether there was a door that.
Wow, TikTok, y'all wild. Oh, wait a minute, y'all.
This person got in, or whether the person was connected to the school community in some way. We're going to take you now to one of the hospitals where doctors.
Is that why I only have 3 people watching TikTok? I get it.
And
I understand.
Peterson joins us live right now for Northeast Georgia Medical Center. Barrett.
Somebody said the back door.
Georgia Medical Center.
Right, our schools are double locked. We can't even walk our kids to class, Jess. So how are these shooters getting into school?
One gunshot victim was rushed here, and then one gunshot victim was taken to the System's Medical Center.
I can't even walk my pre-K son to class. But some kind of way, shooters is getting inside the school.
They're also not saying if they are students or teachers. Now, we're also told that 2 additional patients are here at the Barrow location.
I think it's students. Well, the girl already told us that one of her friends is dead. That student did.
Seen a lot of police or ambulance presence here at the hospital. I did talk to one fellow who works across the street at an oil change shop, and he said it was probably around 10:30, 10:45, somewhere in that ballpark.
Right, same here. We get buzzed in, but like we can't take them to the class, get buzzed in, and drop them off right there at the door.
From the hospital,
they walk them to class,
heading toward the high school. But we're still waiting and working to find out the conditions of the victims, how serious those conditions are, and whether
it was a school shooting, baby. Somebody shot some students at their school.
At that school?
Yeah, that's terrible, ain't it?
They going to jail.
They did. No, the man, he in jail.
Hospitals at the scene, talking to law
yeah, he should be dead.
And then where all the students?
They gone home, but some of them died, baby.
If you are just joining us here on Channel 2
Yeah, he
this is our
shot them.
continuing breaking news coverage as we just
What
about
ambulance?
hit
They
2
already
p.m.
gone.
Here on this
gone.
Wednesday, 2 p.m. on this Wednesday, where at 10:23
Take the
approximately
student to
this
the
morning, at
hospital.
Yeah,
Apalachee
take
High
them to the
School, east
hospital.
of Atlanta. We're
All
talking
of
Barrow
it.
County.
No, just the four.
Apalachee High
That's the
School
whoever
in
ones
Winder,
was
a
shot,
suspect
baby.
started shooting inside the
Yeah, I
school.
have to
It
see how you
came
got to
from
talk to you,
Hall,
baby. He
possibly
four.
the J Hall. And then it was just pure chaos.
Look, y'all, this
It's been
Shallow. He didn't go to
confirmed
school
just
today. He
short
had a
time
dentist
ago
appointment. Say
that
hey to the
4
people real
people
quick.
have been
Say
killed
hey to this
today
one
as a
too.
result
Y'all
of
say hey to
school
this camera.
shooting. It has also been confirmed that the shooter is in custody.
You want to say hey to
First
both of
described
them?
as neutralized, which in some instances in the past has meant probably killed the shooter. In this situation, we understand the shooter is alive and in custody. You are looking at students not live, but on the football field at Apalachee High School in a prayerful circle, praying. There's just such a morning and an afternoon now of trauma and parents walking miles frantically trying to get to
their kids. I can only imagine not knowing, oh, my child, and then the parents who found out their child is, oh, wow.
Run, just keep running away from the chaos that was ensuing. We know that Georgia Governor Brian Kemp, President Joe Biden have all been made aware. We heard from U.S. Attorney General
I wouldn't wish this on anyone. This is so terrible.
Commenting
on all
the situation
levels.
here in our state, and multiple law enforcement and investigative agencies from the FBI, GBI, and on. Everyone is there doing their work. And as we speak, there are some gunshot
Yep,
victims
TikTok not
that
even letting
still
us share
being
this,
treated
y'all.
at least 3 hospitals.
Absolutely.
I
and
mean,
they are getting
I
the
can
care that
share
they
it, but
need
that's
right
not what
now.
I meant.
We're also starting to hear some reaction to something we were talking about, that it really did seem like they had the gunman in custody pretty quickly. We got a statement from Representative Mike Collins saying that he and his wife are
After
praying
he
for the
shot
families
kids,
and
honey, he
all
shouldn't be in
students.
custody.
Also
He should
mentioning
be.
we extend our gratitude to law enforcement for their swift action to secure the school and get the shooter in custody. Representative Mike Collins going on to say,
sometimes I be thinking this stuff be set up, but you know,
my team and I are available to assist in any way necessary. We will continue to monitor and provide updates as prudent. Again, Representative Mike Collins with that statement there. And we see this evolution of how to respond to these active shooter situations. Law enforcement trains and trains again and trains again with the skills they hope they never have to use until a day like this happens. And it does seem that they were able to pretty quickly secure the situation enough that they could send the kids out to school and then deal with going through the school hallway by hallway, closet by closet, office by office, to make sure no one else was in danger. But the suspect in custody now, and sources tell us 4 people are dead.
By all accounts, and it's very early, but by all accounts, local law enforcement acted swiftly and with incredible bravery today in trying to get a hold of the most horrific situation, a situation that we do understand they pray for dutifully. Channel 2 Action News reporter Michael Seiden has reported to us that Barrow officials, Barrow law enforcement, has a large training facility and has a specific training regimen for such school shooting events. And it hasn't always, in other states, we've seen situations, Uvalde, Texas, where some mistakes apparently, the most catastrophic mistakes have been made in the past. And we understand today.
By waiting.
Yes.
By holding back, by waiting.
That's right. And we understand that today. Again,
I don't know what race is the shooter, Mac.
People have died, but we understand the suspects in custody. And we understand that law enforcement was.
It's in Georgia. This is in Atlanta, Georgia, in Barrow County.
They could. And again, we'll get more information in the ensuing days.
Our Gwinnett County Bureau Chief
I don't know if I
Johnson
trust
joins
people
us
that
live.
join my
It's
live
been
because
up
I don't know what
for
people
hours
do
as
when they
the
join
Gwinnett
people's
County
lives.
Bureau
I've
Chief
never
is
let anyone
closest
join
to
my
that
live
area, to
before
Barrow County and
on
Winder.
TikTok.
What is the
So
situation where you
I'm
are
sorry
right
that I
now?
keep. Yeah,
We're
you
seeing
think
a
they
lot
taking
more
eyes
people
off
being able
something
to
else
leave
somewhere else just
campus.
because
Even
I'm
than the
just
last
like,
time we were on air about
you know,
30
they was
minutes
just the
ago.
cops were there so fast. I was like, well, how the cops get there so fast? Like, but you know, at our school shooting here in Nashville that we had a couple months ago last year, there were about 6 or 7 casualties.
A lot more students leaving here
I'm
with
just
their
gonna
parents.
hush. I'm just gonna be quiet.
Traffic is open here on both lanes.
I'm gonna be
Next to me
quiet.
here, cars are starting to move. And next to the high school for the first time we've seen all day, really. So I think the expectation here is that a lot of parents are going to be taking their kids and clearing the scene. But law enforcement, of course, they're not going anywhere. They're mentioning that their
Every
investigation
time,
might
just
take
like the
days
shooting
to
here,
really
you know,
piece
even
together
though as much as
what
I want to
happened
believe
here.
it,
But for now, parents, the priority has been
let me pause real quick. Just like the shooting that happened here, as much as I want to believe that the Nashville shooting, you know, happened at Covenant Elementary or Covenant Missionary, whatever, I can't remember the name of the school. I can't figure out how when the shooter was walking through the school, she had on Pumas. But when they show her unalive after the police shot her down, she had on black Vans with the flames on the side. I did a thorough investigation. Like I did a thorough look at the shoes. So I know for sure she had on Pumas when she was walking through the school with the guns. And when they shot her down, she had on Vans with the red and yellow stripe with the red and yellow flame on the side. I'm like, so did she switch shoes before they shot her? So that's why I be thinking stuff be set up. So I apologize. Prayers to the Covenant families. You know, I hope y'all don't take this the wrong way, but not saying that your children really didn't get unalive and the teachers didn't really get unalive. I'm just saying I feel sometimes these things be set up because I'm just trying to figure out how she had on black and white Pumas while she was walking through the school with the guns, the school that was looked all nice, no backpacks out of place, no chairs where it looked like the students had to get up and run real quick. Like it just looked like, oh, this just a setup. But anyway, I'm gonna leave that alone. I talked about that then. But anyway, she had on Vans when she was shot dead on the ground they were black and they had the red and yellow flame. And I was like, this can't be the same person. Who is this person? Do they think we're dumb? Do they think we don't see that those are Pumas in this video and these are Vans on this one? But let's get back to this school shooting that's happening right now in Georgia. You know, like we know what they're trying to push. They won't get my gun that I don't even have yet. But they won't take my rights. No. This why I need a gun. And in the Venezuelan gangs taking over your neighborhood, oh, you better have a gun. Not for this. Like we don't need guns for this. But I'm saying like responsible people need guns because with the Venezuelan gangs coming in, taking over your apartment, your home, yeah, you may want to get you one.
A couple of hours. It's around 4 o'clock. We're expecting to get an update from the sheriff's office about their investigation.
Right, at the cost of innocent children. That's what I'll be talking about, life too short. All this stuff set up for gun reform and then taking innocent kids and people's lives to try to get bills passed.
Once they get to safety and once they firmly have their hands wrapped around their children.
We wouldn't be surprised if this was a immigrant. They breaking into gun in Colorado, they broke into 5 gun shops, stole guns, sending their kids in there, getting the ammunition. It's happening in your city because guess what? They're busing them to your city. They're putting them on first-class flights to your city. They're putting them on trains to your city. They ask them, where you want to go live? Where you want to go live so we can make sure you get registered to vote there so we can fraud and scam the election. Not this year, Democrats. We're not going for it. Nope. Y'all fooled me for 20 years. You won't fool me for 20 more. Nope. Trump 2024. Let me show you how serious I am for TikTok because y'all may not know because YouTube know though. Trump 2024. Y'all see these toes? Yeah. Trump 2024. Like, yeah. Trump. These people crazy. Yeah. Oh, we're going to get into the open borders and the Venezuelan gangs and all that because that was really what my life was supposed to be about. But when I saw the school shooting, I was like, oh, wow, I definitely have to talk about this. I have children that go to school. I want to homeschool. The street is real. But got a game, but the police and justice give not protection for the street. Right. Y'all, right. Trump 2024. But I know the video probably was not the video. Y'all probably really couldn't get a good look at it because of the way I had it. Let me flip the camera for you. Hold on, y'all. I'm talking to TikTok real quick. Let me show TikTok my toes if they ain't seen yet. Flip the camera. Trump. I ain't playing. Trump. And the other big toe say 2024. Y'all think I'm lying?
The flurry of activity in that emergency room. Of course, all hands on deck in a situation like this. And again, we will continue
close
to
the border.
People here at Grady to get an update on that.
Can the black people get some small business loans?
We'll be sure to bring it to you as soon as possible. That's the very latest right here outside of Grady Memorial Hospital. I'm Audrey Washington, and I'll send it back over to you guys.
Audrey, thank you. And you're watching our continuing coverage here on Channel 2 Action News. Sources tell us 4 people are dead after the shooting at this high school in Barrow County today. The suspect is in custody. Audrey was just sharing the latest from Grady Hospital in Atlanta. You're looking at a live picture right now from Northeast Georgia Medical Center in Gainesville. That's one of 2 Northeast Georgia locations where gunshot victims have been transported.
This is for the new people.
At that location in Gainesville, the other at the location
for the people that keep
Barrow.
talking about, we not going back. Yes, we are.
Anxiety might have been adjacent to what happened.
Yes, we are.
We're dealing with a crisis of their own at this point, and understandably need medical help to get through this. It's a good time to remind you, if you're in crisis or if you know someone in crisis,
don't mind it.
Our state, make sure that people who are staffed and ready to help are at that number.
I'm going to get a pedicure next week, and they're going to be red with Trump in white.
Struggling
maybe
with sleeplessness and anxiety, and just replaying a day like this in their heads over and over again. We understand this from past school shootings that these traumas.
Nightbot is not a person. Nightbot is a robot.
If you're wondering exactly, as we sort of reset here for a moment,
that's putting my channel information in. That's what Nightbot is doing.
Out east of Atlanta. So if you're talking about Winder, Georgia, if you are directly northeast of Atlanta, on the way to
again, this is a school shooting happening right now in Atlanta, Georgia, at Apalachee,
south of Brazelton
High School,
the state that we're talking about. And it's a very rapidly growing area. This is Winder, Georgia, is the home of Apalachee High School, very tight-knit community, a very strong community where they pride themselves on their closeness. And in many cases, they would describe themselves as just outside of the city enough that they love their way of life.
Bubble, you can quit putting that in here. Well, I'm finna block you. Quit spamming my chat.
They feel sort of rural and very much like a small town community. And that is said in the most complimentary way.
Philo, it wouldn't be on my toes if I didn't.
Just after about 10:23 specifically, according to law enforcement, that the shooting started at Apalachee High School.
Thanks for subscribing, Nicholas.
Sources tell us 4 people have died. A shooter, we understand the shooter, in custody. And
mama
folks being treated in hospitals right now as we have our team of Channel 2 Action News reporters and photographers spanned out across the area from the hospitals to the high school. We've been talking with parents and students who have been recounting the horror of what
because of the open borders. That's why I showed my feet.
Can't believe it happened here. Cannot believe it happened here, which is what so many families.
I bet your mama know how to do it better
as well. We are waiting for potentially a lot more information that should come our way at about 4 o'clock.
Bubba, you out of here. I gave you a chance.
Get that information together to share it with the larger community as they were able to let.
Nope, there are 4 dead and 30 casualties. Some other people shot, but 4 are dead. They don't know if it's students, teachers, faculty.
Right now for wounds.
Don't slam the door, please.
Grady Memorial Hospital, one in Barrow.
This is in Georgia.
Georgia, in Gainesville. We heard from the U.S. Attorney General saying he was devastated to learn about this. We've had a statement from President Joe Biden and the White House saying that they are freeing up federal resources as needed in the
Apalachee High School.
Governor Brian Kemp immediately freeing up
in
all
Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia.
The heads of 3 major departments, the GBI, Department of Public Safety, and GEMA to the area in person to help coordinate the response. which our state officials have learned from incidents in other areas.
Can y'all share the video on TikTok? Because TikTok is restricting the video, y'all.
Work to make sure that they can take the plan and put it into action on a day like this that they hope never happens. Again, sources telling us 4 people are dead after a shooting that probably started like any other day at Apalachee High School in Wyandotte, Georgia. The suspect is in custody. One of the students we talked to said that she was told to just leave everything behind. Just get out of there, leave everything behind. She had her cell phone. A lot of students, I'm sure, did. Many had to leave their backpacks, water bottles, that kind of stuff, their books inside the school. And I'm sure there will be a plan later for them to go back and get their stuff as this investigation continues.
And what is so unnerving and troubling is that a security plan, as tight as it is.
Right, I don't get how schools are double locked down, but shooters get in there and the parents can't even get in there to eat lunch with their child.
Whether you are talking about
but some kind of way,
or a former president.
This is in my country, Philo. I live in Tennessee, but we had a school shooting here last year where 6 people were killed.
Free will. And so
3 were students.
About it is we go about living our daily lives, and those we cherish most are our children. And when they're just going off to school, it just rocks us to our core.
That lets you know what it is. Yep, I know. AJ, yeah.
Helpless to a situation.
Yeah.
We saw our local area unfold this morning.
I'm trying to figure out how the shooter get into the schools, but I can't get in to eat lunch. Like you can't, like I'm like, well, we can't get in without showing ID.
Yeah, Linda, we just got here. We are in front
Shallow,
of the
calm
school,
down.
and I got to tell you, there is an eerie feeling going on, kind of like the calm after the storm. It's so interesting to see. Take a look over here. You can see a parade of parents with their kids walking out of here. We've seen some reunions with jubilant parents hugging.
I can only imagine what them parents was going through, running up to that school because they had to run miles to get to the school because it was so much police presence they couldn't get through.
This community,
wondering, is this my child? Something wrong with my child?
School who recounted for me a frightening ordeal where
y'all, I just got another violation.
Killed, she says,
and I'm finna screenshot it.
A statistics class, and there was some beating on a locker outside their classroom.
Because y'all ain't gonna believe what it's for. Y'all, I just got another violation. It says your live is flagged for civic and election integrity. Repeated violations could result in your live being discontinued. Election integrity. Y'all heard that? Election integrity, y'all. But when you ask Alexa, why should I vote for Trump? Alexa tells you, I can't give you any information on politics. But when you ask, why should I vote for Kamala? It gives you a whole explanation as to why you should vote for her. Like, are you kidding me? Oh, they don't want me to show this fake event. Right. This fake event that they trying to put on. Right. Yep. Y'all probably right, YouTube. Right. Wow, y'all. Wow. Oh, wow. This is crazy.
His teacher went out to investigate.
I'm emailing Benny. I sure am emailing Benny Willows. And I'm going to send him that screenshot.
She says the shooting stopped, so some of her fellow
election integrity by showing my toes
and grabbed their teacher and dragged him into the class. Father, and they went off hand in hand. So
wow,
that going on, but a lot of sad hearts here as well.
Oh, Tom, that story.
Well, Facebook already admitted that their party was basically making them, flag stuff or not let them put stuff up there. So we already know Facebook has already said that they were trying to control the platform, wouldn't let you, when you post stuff about Trump, it get flagged. You post stuff about Kamala, it go through. So we already know what's going on, y'all. So if this TikTok get disconnected from this live, y'all know they said election integrity. Wow.
Dragging that person back in the classroom, it absolutely gives me chills. And we have an update, but stay with me if you can.
You already know they're going to talk about gun control right in the middle of a shooting. You know it.
9 people taken to various hospitals with injuries. Again, 9 taken to various hospitals.
So 9 people have been taken to the hospital.
Update from the GBI. Tom, I was going to ask you though, what are these students telling you about how many shots they heard? Because I mean, obviously everyone was in a panic, and no one person is going to remember it perfectly, but was it many shots, or what did they tell you about what they heard?
Well, that one student who says her teacher was shot, she just heard that one shot, and she says it was eerily quiet after that. I guess she assumed that the shooter went somewhere else. I talked to a football player who says
this
that
not even sounding right now.
What he thought was banging on a dryer in a bathroom. So he heard multiple bangs of that. So he thought it was the dryer, someone banging on the dryer to get his
now nobody's watching my video.
Sure if those were actually shots
on TikTok.
So the few students I talked to were unaware of how many shots there actually were, or whether what they were hearing were shots. They just knew that they lost some friends, classmates, and a teacher.
I'll tell you the truth.
Well, thank you for explaining it so well. Tom Jones, live.
The suspect is already in custody.
As each and every family connected to this school has to deal with that feeling of being shell-shocked and that absolute trauma of what they're going through right now.
And to reiterate,
no, Ajax, they said that this message, hold up, let me pause this. No, the restrictions is on my TikTok. I'm live on TikTok too and YouTube. The restrictions came through on TikTok, not because of what you said on YouTube.
And being treated at local hospitals, from Grady Memorial Hospital in downtown Atlanta to Northeast Medical Center, Gainesville, and Barrow. And again, the suspect is in custody today. We're hearing these stories now of families in shock, in relief when they can hold and touch their children and tell them how much they love them. And they're going to go through the range of emotions of relief and gratitude, but that will probably be short-lived as they contemplate the loss of life and what's happening
it's crazy. So I didn't experience it for myself, what they've been talking about as far as them trying to
about the shooter.
If you don't say what they want you to say, they trying to censor it.
Adult or a child motivations. We that is just among the many questions law enforcement's working on right now.
And to say
that's 4 dead and 9 injured.
I mean, that covers so many things.
Is that including the 4 dead?
For each
I guess not.
Of those 9 people in treatment. And you never know how you're going to react in that moment, but that situation that Tom Jones just described of the students going to help their teacher and dragging that person back into the classroom. I mean, the heroics and bravery
I
of
see
that
you,
to try
TikTok.
to help in that moment of trauma is pretty amazing.
Yes, I mean, we are conduits of information. That is our jobs, but we're all humans, and it's just awful. It's just the worst possible kind of thing to talk about young people in school and a loss of life, and that is where we are here. It's now 2:22 on a Wednesday afternoon. A beautiful start to this day, unquestionably, as we're starting to get this beautiful taste of fall and the kids back in school and the athletics kicking up and all of those joyous times. And stark reality hits us at about 10:23 this morning in Winder, Georgia, a good bit, 50 minutes or so east of Atlanta, en route to Athens.
Right, but that's the crazy thing,
And,
Mr. Boone, because
4 dead, 9 injured.
our schools here in Nashville have an active or 2 police officers at each school. So I'm confused as to why weren't any here. Yeah, the suspect is arrested. Right, file. Okay, right, okay. You know, can't say too much. No, TikTok gonna ban me. Now I have nobody watching. That's why I'm gonna end this TikTok live and I'm gonna stay on YouTube. I just wanted TikTok to see that there was 4 dead, 9 injured, suspect in custody, not dead. He must be white. Okay, Barrow County, Winder, at Apalachee High School in Atlanta, Georgia, right now. Breaking news, TikTok. I'm about to end this because they playing. Come over to my YouTube channel, MomBossMayo, if you want to keep talking, because we about to talk about Camilla. We about to talk about the Venezuelan gangs. We're about to talk about Kamala locking parents up for truancy. They finna block this live, so I might as well just get all out. Locking parents up for truancy. We're gonna talk about her locking people up for marijuana when she smoked it. We're gonna talk about her keeping people locked up for free labor because she didn't want to pay people. We're gonna talk about all that. So come over to YouTube, MomBossMayo, and come on over. MomBossMayo. Peace out, TikTokers. We out. I don't got time for this. They really tried to restrict me, y'all. TikTok really was playing. Hold up. Yeah. They are only around 80 IQ. Well, I don't know since he's in custody. So is he in illegal? I don't know. And Nick, put a name on it. Why does she talk like what? What do you mean? Why does she talk like what? What? I'm speaking English. Do you know it? Like what? What am I speaking then if I'm not speaking English? Young mom. I'm 43 and I have 6 children. Thank you, TikTok shop. The same place that just tried to ban me. TikTok shop. Yep. Most likely an immigrant, but fake media. Yep. You know it. You know it. You know it. We're going to watch a little bit more, then we're going to change subjects.
About 4 hours as a unit and law enforcement and life-saving personnel that could possibly be deployed. Resources have been allocated to this part of our state, northeast of Atlanta. And this is what's happening right now. And families are probably getting back to their homes. And they're sitting down in front of the television and or speaking with faith leaders and or just hugging one another. And they're all doing their things to try to understand what's just occurred in this community and where do we go from here, and who was it firing the gun and what was the motivation. And these are questions that are being asked today. And believe me, these are answers we want to bring to you just as soon as we can. We do understand we're about 90 minutes away now from what officials in Barrow County have said will be their next update for us. We understand that'll be at 4 p.m. This is not a live look, by the way. We understand this is our footage, recent footage from News Chopper 2. But again, these are aerial looks and then back on the ground. Here a live look, I'm sorry. But those were aerial views, obviously, from News Chopper 2. And here we are back on the ground with our live camera looking at Apalachee High School, where you're presumably seeing students and staff cars just left in place as they've evacuated. And the least of one's concern would be their automobile when you're concerned about your safety.
Absolutely. And it may be a while before they get their keys in their bags and can get back to the car or even get the cars out at this point.
Well, if you voting for Kamala, you're not going to have a better future for your children because she's taking away school choice. So if you chose the school your kids go to, you won't be when she in office.
Georgia, 4 people dead,
so
9 people
go right
injured
ahead
and getting treatment right now. That suspect
go right
in custody.
ahead.
We've been talking to parents, grandparents, students as they've been able to leave. They describe hearing various things, which might have been the start of the gunshots in one of the hallways. We've heard several eyewitness accounts that at least one teacher was involved, and by that I mean shot in this shooting. Might have been in the E hallway or the J hallway, the kind of information that authorities are working on right now as well. Looking at a live picture on the ground where it looks like they're adding a perimeter, adding that crime scene tape to establish a perimeter as this investigation moves into the next phase. And as Justin was just saying, it may be a while before we can have any sort of understanding of why this happened, why anyone would do this. There will also be questions about how that person, whoever this person is, got the gun, what kind of gun they used, where they got the gun, and how they had access to it and why they would choose to use it in this way today with absolutely horrifying results. 4 people dead, at least 9 people injured and getting treatment right now. The gunman in this situation is in custody as this school community and this community.
Good. I'm not. My great grandmother was Cherokee Indian. I don't know.
Goodness, so many of the students.
Yeah, that's
are
all
home
Kamala
or on their way
is
home,
Indian.
where,
So
they have to feel.
you know,
Yes, we've been hearing from.
ain't nobody lying about her.
Our Channel 2 Action.
No, know what? We can just get on up off here because people lying on her about what? What would you like to know, Chris? So I can give you the facts. Let's go to whitehouse.gov and see what she gave the Asian Americans and the Native Hawaiian and Pacific Islanders, since you say people be lying on her. Yeah. Yeah. Because first of all, I'm a woman before anything. So you think I wouldn't like to see a woman president? Yes. But I want to see one that's going to do something for the economy and not just one that's just there. So what would you like to know? Hey, no fucks given. Okay, let's see. Let's see how much she gave the Asians. Now, all this is about the Asians, just so you know. Whitehouse.gov, if you would like to go check it. Whitehouse.gov. Fact sheet. The Biden-Harris administration advances equality and opportunity for Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander communities across the U.S. Let's continue. Oh, okay. Yeah, I love when people come in here and with their... I think people are just lying on her. Well, how about you go do your research instead of thinking people are lying on her? You can just do your own research on her, and then you'll know. But here we go. In 2021, President Biden set a bold goal to increase total federal contracting dollars to small disadvantaged businesses to 15% by 2025, which this makes no sense because right here it says to 15%, but then down here it says to 50%. Which one was he trying to raise it to? But okay. Including Asian American and Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander owned small businesses. In 2023, federal agencies awarded SDBs a record-breaking $76.2 billion with a B. Okay, this represents the 3rd consecutive year of record-breaking awards to the SBD under President Biden and puts the administration on track to reach the president's goal of increasing federal funding dollars to SDBs by 50% by 2025. Okay, let's get into the meat and potatoes. Last year, which is 2023, for those that don't know what last year was, awards to Asian American owned businesses totaled more than $20 billion. Shall I say that again? $20 billion, an increase of $2.7 billion over the previous year. So let's get our calculator out here and see if they received $20 billion in 2023. Let's let y'all see what $20 billion look like. If they received $20 billion in 2023, but there was an increase of $2.7 billion from the previous year, let's just take away $2.7 billion, which is basically, this right here. And let's see what she gave them in 2022. Oh, $17.3 billion. So you mean to tell me, okay, here we go. Okay, it wasn't her money. Well, whose money was it? Okay, well, okay, it wasn't her money, but she didn't give you none. Okay, let's also see. So also in fall of 23, the U.S. Small Business Administration backed 7,500 loans to Asian American Pacific Islander owned businesses, which totaled more than $6.4 billion. So in total, in 2023, the Asian American small businesses received $26.4 billion. Do I need to add? Okay, let's continue. Let's continue, because I have more. I have lots more. Lots more. Let's go into her locking parents up for truancy. When your kids miss too many days of school, you may be one of those parents that, have a sick child that, there's nothing you can do about that, but she doesn't care. She's going to lock you up. So not alone are you poor, she's going to lock you up and charge you $2,500 to get out. And I'm sure you probably have other children. So you're going to take you away from those kids, which is going to cause them to lose school. So then you're going to be locked up again with another $2,500 fine. So it looks like to me, I'm trying to figure out what is she doing for you. She ain't helping no black farmers because farmers been having to burn their stuff. They've been making farmers burn their stuff. That's what they've been making farmers do. Yeah. Truancy, Kamala Harris, yeah. What she done for the black farmers. Then why all our food poisoned then? Why all our food poisoned then? Where the black farmers at speaking up for her? I ain't seen none. Thank you. Here we go. The story behind Kamala Harris' truancy program. Like I said, I'm speaking on things as a parent. I don't know what you talking about. Definitely is right. Chris on some, baby. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's why they held your comment. But if Black Rain, but if you would have said Trump ain't that, they would have let the comment come through. You don't want to hear about no Asians. Well, you should want to hear about the Asians because that's what she been claiming to be all her life. Southern Asian descent. Why come you don't want to hear about the Asians? Because that's who she doing stuff for. Why come you don't want to hear about the Asians? I don't want to hear about the Asians. You should. Look, your content was removed due to violation. What did I violate? You see what I'm saying? What did I violate? I don't even know what it was. I'll do that in a minute because I don't even know what video they took down. I have no idea. Let me see. It wouldn't be all the way this way. This would be the oldest stuff. So it would have been. I'll check it in a minute. I don't have time. I'm trying to deliver a message and they trying to stop me. Like they've been doing. Like they've been censoring. Yeah. Like they've been censoring. Now all of a sudden they're removing content. Y'all suspect. Like Ice Cube said.
Everybody that's telling you that, man, look at them and say, what are you getting? Because people that just want you to vote and not ask for nothing, people that's in power that want you to vote but don't want you to get anything or not asking for you to get anything economically,
Right.
they suspect. Straight up. Because a lot of people been in place for a long time and we ain't got shit. That shit gonna end. That shit gonna end. We gonna get what we supposed to get. Period. And anybody asking you not to ask, I wouldn't listen to them. Because that's the process.
My bad.
Moments ago, so this breaking news story: several cars in the vice president's motorcade to malls have crashed on the way to an event in Milwaukee. Reporters traveling with Kamala Harris' running mate said the van slammed into the back of another van carrying press, leaving passengers injured with broken bones and emergency crew on hand. Meanwhile, President Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were safe in the Situation Room. Okay. Walls was not hurt, but his vehicle didn't even stop to check on everyone. The motorcade
so
crash.
Tim Walls having whole accidents,
Scary,
which he wasn't the driver, and they ain't even check on people.
The way that it looks, I mean, the way it looks is not good. I mean, you see the van here gets completely smoked. It crashed into another press vehicle. Jeez. Careful about your DEI hires, right? And hires, drivers. It's an entire operation. It happened moments ago. So this breaking news story. Several cars in the vice president's motorcade, Tim Walz, have crashed on the way to an event in Milwaukee. Report.
Is there, I don't feel any connection to real America or the place that I come from, which is the Midwest, Kansas City, Kansas, and Missouri. I don't feel any connection to the people that I know right now who are struggling to buy their groceries.
Right. Like this mother of six over here.
Both candidates are going to do to materially affect change in their lives.
Exactly. And now the $25,000 first time home buyers.
I felt myself feeling mad because I didn't hear anything about the economy.
No, we just heard
Not very much
rich people talk about rich people.
Instead, I hear generic platitudes, things like joy and respect and integrity, and what does that even mean?
Nothing.
Let's make the military the most lethal in the world.
Right.
I thought I was part of the anti-war party.
Girl, me too.
I thought I was part of the party that
I am now. Trump, 2024. Now all of a sudden my content getting flagged.
I want to bring the conversation back to the
Get her ass out of office.
that is disproportionately negatively impacting Black and brown people all across this country today. Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the court forced her to do so. She kept people in prison on their sentences, used them as cheap labor in the state of California, and she fought to keep that jail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Thank you, Congresswoman.
Yeah. We don't want a response.
Unfortunately, it was the Democratic Party.
Oh, let's hear this. Hold on. Wait a minute. Love it.
Unfortunately, it was the Democratic Party. They've done everything they can, including creating PACs to prevent us from being able to have ballot access.
Yeah, it's interesting because you were saying that you could stay in.
This is why RFK Jr. has dropped out and endorsed Trump. Okay, yeah, we having a unity party.
Specifically.
Well, this idea of a unity party, an idea of us coming around these principles of fighting for liberty in this country, fighting for our children's health. We have the worst chronic health crisis in the world right now. Over 50% of children are diagnosed with some chronic disease. This is unconscionable. Yeah. And we are willing to work with anyone who is sincere in their endeavor to fix and address this issue.
Do you believe the Trump campaign and Trump himself is sincere? Do you see a home? You talk about this as being Bobby's decision. Do you see a home for RFK Jr. in the Trump?
Unfortunately, it was the Democratic Party. They've done everything they can.
Let me explain how it's perfectly feasible for Kamala to give everybody free money. If you look at this chart behind me, you'll see a weather map, and you can clearly see here that almost every day in the U.S. it rains. All over the country it rains.
Yeah, okay.
What do we know happens after it rains?
Rainbows? Oh, okay, yeah, rainbow.
What Kamala's planning to do is when the rainbow comes up,
okay,
have a task force of people go out to the end of the rainbow where they will find one of these. What Kamala's
a leprechaun?
These possible into the economy and back into the hands of the American.
Oh, okay, really?
And I commend her for that.
Girl. Yeah, y'all better get woke. Y'all better wake up.
Let me explain how it's perfect.
Trevor Kamala. Oh, no, I didn't even finally out to get any response.
Trevor Kamala, what do you think? Yeah. Has it been selling well?
We just got here.
Who is this guy? Who's the vice president? You know this name? Who's this guy? The guy she picked as vice president. Who's that guy?
I'm doing my research on it, so I ain't gonna speak on them yet.
Doing your research.
You know who Tim Walz is?
Who is he?
Is it? I mean, I'm
I'm asking the same question, right?
I've been doing my research lately.
Yeah.
So I ain't 100% yet, so I can't answer that yet.
Yeah. Okay. We're asking about Tim because we don't actually know who is Tim Walz.
Really?
We finna find out.
We're gonna find out.
Why?
Yep, Benny. And I'll be emailing you, Benny. I will be.
Child Truth 2024.
What you said, Sarah. Yep, have my Bible lesson every week.
Child Truth 2024.
Pause. What you said, Sarah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. Jehovah, Yahweh, and his son, Jesus, Yeshua. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we are. So I ain't looking at nobody to be my savior, but I know I'm for the one that's not for war. And Democrats, surely, I thought they were anti-war, but funny how they're the ones that's that's the reason for all the wars.
Every time I seen her speak, she looked sharp.
And also, what else are you going to do to fix this problem with inflation? Thank you. Well, let's start with this. Prices have gone up. And families and individuals are dealing with the realities of that bread costs more, the gas costs more.
Girl, you just said that.
And we have to understand what that means.
Prices went
That's
up.
about the cost of living going up.
No, that's because of you.
Having to stress and stretch limited resources. That's about a source of stress for families that is not only economic, but is on a daily level, something that is a heavy weight to carry. So it is something that we take very seriously. Very seriously. And we know from the history of this issue in the United States that when you see these prices go up,
Just slow for no reason.
she's a chameleon, and that's a fair criticism of her. She's taken on whatever natural can help her get ahead.
Kamala Harris is a chameleon. She puts on a fake Southern accent. She is everything to everybody.
I mean, you see this ludicrous accent that she's put on. And by the way, I grew up in rural North Carolina. I actually grew up in a segregated town in rural North Carolina in the 1970s. And, you know, she ain't from rural South, and she is not part of that persona. They don't talk like that in Jamaica, where her family really is from.
This particular Saturday afternoon, with Kamala and all our friends, I said to the congressman, I didn't know he could preach like that.
That's a lovely accent you have. New Jersey?
You all helped us win in 2020, and we're going to do it again in 2024.
Yeah.
You are idiots. Yeah. Okay, and I don't know that everybody knows that.
She's a chameleon, and that's a fair criticism.
Recording her mother's journey from in.
Hold up. Okay. Chris, I'm so confused because you talking about Chip, you know, he loved Trump, but he's a lemon, bro. Okay. But I was raised Democrat, you know, all my family, you know, aunties, uncles, mama, grandmama, great-grandmama, you know, that's what they were, you know, brainwashed on. Me too. For 20 years of my life. Because that's how long I was able to vote. Now I'm 43. No. I'm not voting for her. Right. Nobody even knew who she was these past 4 years.
Now, her mother, Shamana Gopalan, was born in Chennai and immigrated to America to study at UC Berkeley. The Indian origin senator also talked about her trips to India and her mother's attempts to instill a love of good idli in her.
I stand before you as the first candidate for Vice President of the United States of South Asian descent. The United States of South Asian descent. Of the United States of South Asian descent. When my mother, Shamala, stepped off the plane in California at 19 years old, she didn't have much in the way of belongings, but she carried with her lessons from back home. Growing up, my mother would take my sister, Maya, and me back to what was then called Madras, because she wanted us to understand where she had come from and where we.
Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say no. I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always identified as a black woman.
I respect either
black
one.
College.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn, and she became a black person.
Just to be clear,
I think somebody should look into that too when you continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
I just love the way he says black. He's just great. I mean,
like,
come
girl,
on.
we ain't falling for it. They trying to put tampons in your boys' bathrooms. So you go ahead and
around him. He didn't like it when I said that.
For tampon team.
Giving the right of everyone to be who they are, love who they love, openly and with pride. So as we fight back against these attacks, let's all remember, no one is alone. We are all in this together.
And don't get me wrong, because I know a lot of people ain't gonna try to do
Can you
this.
tell me why boys need tampons?
It's easier to tell your kids character matters. It matters. Tell them that's why we have Trump. Being a good person matters. That's why we have Trump. You said for a whole lot of people. No, you certified doctor of this country. You don't have to work here if the president doesn't want you here. If you're happy to have babies snatched away or send dreamers.
Some bread?
Oh, send them across the border illegally. An education for a lot of people who have really suffered. You know, you got to be kidding. No, it wasn't just George Floyd. There was a lot of people that felt that they couldn't breathe. That is so
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's listen to that one more time.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
One last time for good measure in case you didn't hear it.
I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
She already told you she's not going to do anything for you. She already told you that. So why would you vote for a woman based on the idea that she's a black woman and we just have to have a black woman vice president who already told you she's not going to do anything just for you?
But won't control the
Meanwhile, she's attached to the administration that completely decimated the economy with skyrocketing inflation, food prices through the roof, gas prices through the roof. And if you're trying to do something on the basis of what's good or what's best for black people, at this point it just comes down to common sense. With inflation through the
Okay, and finally, the whole Project 2025.
They don't got abortion clinics at the border.
Nah.
They're telling us as American women, specifically black American women, we need to abort our children. But if you coming across the border with your baby, come to the land of milk and honey, the great land of opportunity. We'll take care of nephew. Joe Biden even said, I'll give illegal immigrants coming across the border $400,000 a piece. Can you imagine if they were to go to that black single mother living in the hood, not even $400,000, offer $4,000. Because I know some black women that can make something jump of $4,000. Offer her $40,000. You know why they'll never give us that? Because they know that we'll never need them again. Welfare reminds me of an old man I used to date. I was in a relationship with him for 11 years. He would never marry me, right? But whenever my bills were due, I would tell him he would give me just enough. He had a whole lot of money. He would give me just enough. Rent due, $1,200.
So if the tampons aren't meant for the boys, why are they going in the boys' bathrooms? I'm waiting. If they're not for the boys, then why are they putting them in the boys' bathrooms? Oh, we're not done. Oh, we're not done. Do I want to end this live and start another one? Because I know this one is titled School Shooting. Because I actually had another live scheduled that was going to be talking about all this. But then I wanted to share the school shooting. Okay, see, that's where you don't understand economics, Chris, because it's not the grocery stores charging out of prices. They're not making no money. It is inflation because the food is costing more, which that makes the price go up. The grocery stores ain't getting paid for nothing. As far as the shelves, they allowed certain people to put their product on. Like, okay, you pay more for this eye level shelf because that's the shelf that most people can see. Like, what are you talking about? Stores with it's not the store's fault. The stores aren't making any money. They still have to pay their employees, insurance. Everything has went up for everybody. But the store's still not making no money. So I'm going to need you to do a little bit more research. Let you do a little bit more research. And Kamala, what she's trying to do as far as for businesses, period, not just companies, she's trying to basically, if me and you have the same product, say we have the same product, our product has to be the same price. My product may be better than yours, or your product may be better than mine. Is it fair to have our product have to be the same price because of a bill that she wants to put in place? No. So, okay. You can talk about Chris with policy. I'm bringing you policies. And now I'm finna show you receipts. But like I said, I'm finna end this one because this one live I had scheduled. I showed you the school shooting. Let's see a final update before I get up off of here.
Well, they have sat out there on that football field since about 11.
If they want to ease in electric vehicles, great, go for it. But crippling businesses and households isn't smart. Chris shutting down domestic drilling increases. Exactly. And everything can't. Do you imagine a 18-wheeler truck, electric, traveling from Florida all the way to California? I just use it as an example. Do you know how many times that truck is going to have to stop to charge up the battery, taking hours away from the delivery? Yeah. It sounds good. And people can't even afford an electric car, let alone a car, period. Bone Reaper, who you talking to? Put a name on it. Because YouTube blocks your comment. But you didn't put a name on it. So I don't think you're talking about me because I'm not none of any of those things. But yeah. Right. Throw them away. No fucks given.
Right after that incident happened, many of them that you're seeing leaving are just now leaving.
Listen here. If a billionaire that makes basically electric style homes, electric cars, electric trucks, and he's saying it's a bad idea to try to do that, why aren't you thinking that? And you don't even, and you're not a billionaire and don't own an electric company, which would be great for your company if everybody in the U.S. had to have an electric car, electric truck, right? So if he says it's not good, and then, like she said, do your research on batteries and what? Who are you talking about? Why would you speak on something you know nothing about? Well, how about you educate me? Since you know so much. I was going to block you, but I'm not. How about you educate me? Tell me what you know. Bone Reaper. I bet nothing. I bet nothing. I'll give you about 5 minutes to come up with something before I block you. We waiting on it. Tell her no fucks given. We waiting. Tell us what you know. Wale, go ask P. Diddy which one. Because he was involved in both, allegedly. Don't ask me. But Tupac been tried to tell us. Why you think they had to get rid of him? The people that actually get rid of the person have no idea that somebody way, way higher up is the one that really wanted it done. Like way, way higher up. And I ain't even talking about PD. Like he probably was the one allegedly that paid the hit or whatever, like that type of part, but not knowing that a whole billionaire at the time, because P. Diddy wasn't nowhere near a billionaire when Tupac was here. A whole somebody up here wanted Tupac gone because of what he was rapping about, what he was trying to educate his people about. Y'all better go back and listen to some of those Tupac songs. I like some of Biggie's songs. I don't know if any of his songs were those types of tracks. I'll have to go listen to some, but I did like his music, whatever. And, sorry he had to be, but exactly, Chip. You don't got to tell me, baby. My name is Candace Mayo because my Mayo is my last name. So I'm either Candace Mayo or I'm Shantae Owens. I'm a coon, blah, blah. But then when you ask them, why do they call you these things, or tell them or tell you why they're voting for the other person, they just get quiet. How Bong Reaper has. You got 2 more minutes, Bong Reaper. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Wule. But yes, we was there. It's a school shooting in Georgia.
4 hours-ish, sitting out there in the sun as well. We've also seen some parents who appear just now getting here, running to the football field. We see parents running to that middle school. I know you were talking with Kevin Stewart about that, and to that elementary school as well. We've seen some buses that are leaving from that elementary school right now, but we've also seen people walking hand in hand with their elementary school students.
Happening right now.
Well, there.
Right, we still waiting.
A community coming together here as well. Michael Moore, can you show this guy there? I know you have water in your hand, but are you just handing out water to people?
Yeah, I live really close by, and I wasn't called into work. I work at Northside Gwinnett, so I wanted to do something to be able to help in any way means.
And I've seen so many people coming through. Is that just kind of a testament of this community and neighborhood?
Yeah, I mean, we're in Georgia. You want to help out. You want to be able to do something. This is big. This is serious, and hopefully be able to do God's work But yeah.
All right, thank you so much. I know you have 2 cases of water. Thank you so much. But that's just a testament. We've been seeing that all throughout. People riding by on their trucks with water, handing out water, first responders to us journalists here on the scene, to the parents, because many of them are walking up to 2 miles, someone told me. They're parking their cars and running over here as well. So many of these people we've talked to, these families, all impacted by this, and they are emotionally exhausted from all of this, from getting the news to experiencing this. I've been talking with different students as just they've come by. One girl told me that they actually have to run. So yes, they do practice situations like this, but she said that the police told them when they got to the back of the school, run with your hands up to that football field, which was a safe area. So they ran from that location of the back of the school, she said, to the football field with the police, with their hands raised as well. We talked to other people earlier. Camille, probably about an hour ago, the gunman, she says, came to her, was one of her classmates. She said they knocked on the door there. You see Gwinnett County Police coming in here as well. We hear sirens off in the district, Georgia State Patrol here. But she's talked a little bit about that gunman coming, knocking on their door, them hiding inside. Another person said they hid inside of a bathroom. They hid inside of a closet for about 15, 20 minutes until the police came to relieve them and to give them some sort of relief as well there. But a lot of parents here, you can tell on their faces, you can tell that they're still trying to figure out everything that is going on here. Off in the distance, that is where we believe that the press conference is going to be at 4 p.m. With the sheriff's office and some other top officials here as well. But just a sea of people starting to come out of that football field with their parents. You've seen tears, you've seen hugs, but a very emotional and tragic day that will stay with them for the rest of their lives here, Christine, Tom.
And seeing complete strangers like that man with 2 cases of water walk by foot down to the school just to make sure people have even that basic need. I think we're going to see a lot more of activity like that. It just gives you hope in our society when you see the community come together like this.
And if there's any mercy whatsoever, it's that it's not 95 degrees today. It's a cooler day out there today. As Eric reported, those parents making the 1.5 mile trek from that checkpoint where they're not allowing any vehicles near the campus. Parents having to walk to get their kids. But there are, angels among us. That guy double arming a couple cases of water, bringing it onto campus, giving it out to really anyone who needs it, doing God's work there. But we are at 4 o'clock going to hear from state officials. I would anticipate at some point we will hear from the governor.
Yeah, y'all. So yeah, the high school shooting, and I want to go back to channel 2, the channel I was originally on. It's in Winder, Georgia, but it's out on the outskirts of Atlanta, I guess. Okay, this was 11 minutes ago on CBS. Because first it was 2 killed, 4 injured in the shooting, and then it went up to 4 killed, 9 injured. I saw one with that too. 30 injured somewhere. Y'all, they can't keep this lie together. Okay, y'all, I'm finna end this because, like I said, I had another live schedule with the topic that I was going to talk about. And since YouTube playing with my views, I'm finna go. How do you know I'm always on here? If you know I'm always on here, that means you must always be on here. My children are at school. And if you were here earlier on my earlier live, you would have saw me up at 5:30 this morning in my business boot camp for my business that I run. Then you would have saw me ironing my children's school clothes. Then you would have seen me getting them dressed. Then you would have seen us going to the dentist, 5 of them with dentist appointments. Then after that, you would have seen me take them to school. Then after that, you would have seen me bring 2 of them back home because there was no point in taking him to school. He got out at 2, so taking him to school for 2 hours didn't make any sense. But my other 2 wanted to go to school, so I took them. All those things that I'm doing as a mother. That's why you're talking about take a break, baby. My life hasn't been taken over by anything. How about you come in as your own self and not a L? Tell me who you really are. Are you someone I know in real life and scared to say who you are? You like how I was streaming the whole time they beg for my attention when my children are at school from 8 to 4. And they don't get home till like 4:30. And I take them to school, get them dressed. You a lie. Anytime you open this app, I'm on here rambling. Baby, goodbye. And I'm going to keep rambling. Oh, what do I do for work? Huh, I have several businesses. That's what I do. Yeah. I have several businesses. If I wanted a job, I can have one. Yeah, because I have 2 degrees, a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. Yeah, do. That's why I received 5 job offers to be a teacher, because teachers are needed, especially science and math teachers. And my background is biology, pre-med, and minor in chemistry. And my bachelor's is biology with a concentration in pharmacology. So, coming soon, I will be a teacher education and resources, 8th grade. You see that? Science. So don't ask me what I do for work. Make money in my sleep. That's what I do. You're the one that's going to work until you die. Why you worried about what I do? I see you haven't came and said nothing else with all those receipts that I gave you. Now, what do you do for work? Since you seem to always be on here all the times that I'm rambling, what do you do for work? I'll wait. Are you supposed to be on here while you're at work? Are you on break? Are you on lunch? Do we need to let your employer know that you're on their hours on here in my chat when you can just scroll up if you don't like what you're seeing or hearing? There are 2.49 billion people on YouTube that you can watch. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, waiting on a comment and it ain't came. Waiting. We waiting. I'm waiting on you to say something before I time you out. And you can come back tomorrow. Every time you come on here, I'm rambling. You still ain't said nothing yet. I'm waiting. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Come back another time. I'm going to ramble on. Yeah, hate when people come on here as somebody else. Come on here as who you are. Let me know who you are. Show your face. L. Lubert. Whatever. That's definitely not your name. And I'll be back with my story on what I was going to talk about before this school shooting happened. So prayers to these families at the Apalachee High School in Georgia. There are 4 dead, 9 injured. I'm not sure if those are students, teachers, workers, I don't know. They haven't released that information. Hold up. The sheriff is giving a update. Time I'm on here rambling. My whole life is about a school shooting.
All right, good afternoon. My name is Sheriff Judge Smith. I'm the sheriff of Bexar County Sheriff's Office. We're standing on the campus of Apalachee High School here at Bexar County Schools. First and foremost, I want to lift up our community. I want to give our sympathies to our community, our school system, our kids, our parents that had to witness this today. Obviously, what you see behind us is an evil thing today. At about 9:30 this morning, we received the first call that there was an active shooter on this campus. We're not releasing any information as far as injuries, but we have multiple injuries. This is a very, very fluid investigation. It's very early. And I have asked the assistance of the GBI and the agencies here behind me today, and there are multiple agencies that responded this morning to help us and help the sheriff's office. We do have a suspect in custody. And we are asking for your patience as the media to please let us get the facts that we need to make sure we get this right. Again, I've asked the GBI to help us, the sheriff's office, to help us along with this.
They don't necessarily have to be.
I know this is not what you want to hear, but I'm not going to answer questions after this is over with. But I wanted to give you the respect and our community respect to let them know what was going on initially. We're in the process of reunifying our students with their parents. Obviously, that's chaotic, but we want to be respectful of them and their privacy as well.
So they're definitely not going to tell us nothing.
Thank the state, the federal agencies, the local agencies that showed up today. As you can see, the multiple EMS and fire from other agencies that responded today. Again, I ask that you lift up Bexar County Schools, lift up Apalachee, lift up our agencies. This is going to take multiple days for us to get answers as to what happened and why this happened. But I wanted to give you.
How you know how many days it's going to take? Multiple days, y'all to come up with a lie.
In conjunction with these people behind us, that we can give you another statement around 4 o'clock, because I know you have to go back on the air. That is my hope. But I wanted to be fluid with you all, understanding that it's fluid as well with this investigation. I appreciate you being patient with us. Again, it's very active and is ever developing. Every minute it's developing on what we're finding. So we're going to have releases from other schools. Again, we ask that you be patient with us. Please be patient with us. And hopefully I can give you more information or more better information if you will, this afternoon. Thank you all for coming out here. We'll be back shortly, okay?
All right, that was short and sweet. Like, what kind of update was that? They didn't tell you nothing. Let's see if I can find something like. This says 24 minutes ago, 47 minutes ago, 36. Blood everywhere. Oh, well, let's see what this
Can they tell us?
Eyewitness said before I get off here for real.
Faith, please, the floor is yours once again. Talk to us. Who do you have with you, and what more can they tell us?
Well, Kara, we're hearing more harrowing details about what happened inside that school early this morning, as you were just detailing there. We have with us Alexandria Romero. She's a sophomore, and you said you actually heard the gunshots. You were in second period at the time. Tell me what happened.
I was in the hall next to it. So I heard it, but it was very vaguely, you know. So the teachers came in and they were like, everybody get on the floor, cover yourselves. Like, we were all hugging each other. So we were all it was a small little ball of us all holding each other. And I remember my friends crying. They were all scared. And then 2 police officers came in with their guns. Telling us not to move, that it's still not safe. And we were in that classroom for 10 minutes before they even let us go out. When the time was finally up, we went. to the hallway that it happened in, and this when I saw like my math teacher, and he was all covered. I saw blood everywhere.
You've shared videos with us showing the hallway where you guys were walking as you were evacuating. Describe, our viewers can't see the video right now, but describe to us what you just showed us in those videos.
It was basically my math teacher, just a white cover was on top of him, but in the video, like y'all about to see, it's like it blood there, but it was really quick. Like everybody was in a rush trying to get out.
And of course, in that video, you can see police officers standing around someone on the floor. At this point, we don't know whether anyone passed away in this incident. We do know there were injuries. People are being treated for injuries. You talked about your friends.
So much you don't know. Girl, it is people
during this period. What about you? How were you feeling? Was there confusion? Was there anxiety? Was there fear?
I was scared. I had so much fear. Like I'm still shaking. Like I was so scared. I didn't know. My feelings were so heightened. I cried too. I was scared.
We've talked to other students who said at the beginning, they thought it might have been either a drill or just some commotion that was going on. Talk to me about how you.
Our school usually does drills and they take it pretty serious. So of course my class thought that it wasn't really a big of a deal until we saw this red flash go off in our classroom and the announcements went off saying that this is not a drill and this is real. And people thought it was a joke at first. But because we take our drills pretty serious, but our teacher was telling us we weren't going to have one today. So it was really like out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. And of course, the scene is still active. We have law enforcement here still processing the scene at this point. We don't know a lot of details about the victims at this point.
So they have a drill schedule and then they cancel it only for a gunman to come.
I'm definitely scared to go back. I talked with my parents and stuff. I don't feel safe going back there for a while. I definitely will feel like scared going back to that school. Just knowing like,
they gonna lock your mama up for truancy.
It's like it's hard to get out of my
mama
head.
Gonna lock your mama up for truancy, girl.
Right there, and especially like our math teacher. It was hard.
I know you keep saying your math teacher. At this point, we don't know any identities of any of the casualties at this point.
Well, obviously she knows she was in there.
Math teacher.
Because my friend was in that class when he had math period, and she was telling me that when he opened the door to see what was going on, because he was trying to make sure if it was a drill or not, he opened the door, and right when he opened the door and peeked out, they shot him.
So you're saying this was happening in the hallway. Your friend was in a classroom. The teacher in that classroom tried to go outside to see what was going on, and that teacher was
She said, like, as soon as he opened the door, he got shot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I am sorry for the traumatic experience you guys have had to deal with this morning, and of course having to heal from for weeks and weeks, maybe years from now. And I'm glad you guys are okay. Thank you so much for speaking with us.
Of course.
Oh wow, y'all. I don't know what to think about that. I don't know. As soon as he opened the door, he was shot. So the shooter just was right there by the math class. Okay. Or was this a drill? Okay, I'm gonna leave it there. Prayers to the family, y'all. I don't know. Prayers to the family. I thought I was gonna hear like not names of victims or whatever, but I thought at least the press conference will be longer than 2 seconds. I still didn't get the super chat. It's deeper.
Jump in any way possible to help these students, help their families, help the faculty and staff here get their heads around what happened in their school community today. And what the first thing people go to, and no matter what faith you are, is prayer. So no surprise
we all need prayer
to hear churches and clergy
coming
together to pray for those. In some cases they may know, and in some cases they may not know.
Yeah, and as you said, and not lost among any of this is that it's the first sort of crisp fall day out there today of the season. Students just started classes not too long ago. We're in the middle of football season, so much excitement in the air, all of it, unfortunately, up there to be brought to a screeching halt at Apalachee High.
To really help you understand how much this news is spread across the country, really around the world, I'm on Apalachee High School's Facebook page, just seeing some of the comments that are coming through about people sending their thoughts, their prayers, and condolences. Some people from Washington State saying, we're thinking about you. People from Virginia posting in the comments here. One person from South Africa posting here because they're hearing with the nature of our news now and how it can be spread. They're hearing this is just reverberating around the world at this point. Brittany Edney is on the ground for us as well.
Yeah, that's how the
Brittany,
media work.
what
When
do you
they
have
want a
from where you
story
are?
out there, y'all push it.
Tom, Christine, we continue to have just these harrowing accounts of what transpired here throughout the day from students. As those accounts come in, so does a lot of the media. Video that has been recorded or pictures that have been taken from this school shooting. I can tell you that we have a new video that we're not going to show just because of how graphic it is in nature, but I do want to talk about it because it really just kind of goes to show what these young folks have been experiencing. We have a video where you can see law enforcement in the hallway and a body clearly under a long white sheet, blood coming through, and students having to pass that body as they make their way down the hallway and out to the back of the school, towards the football area, so that they can be in a safe area and conjugate out there. So
thank you for your
that video, again, too graphic for us to show on air, but I want to talk about it because imagine that you are that student and you are walking past and seeing something that graphic, and likely someone that you normally pass through the hallway every day, or it could have been one of your teachers, throughout the afternoon. We have shared with you accounts from students. One in particular, she is a freshman, and she told us that she saw her math teacher, a beloved one at the school, who she described as being
telling that same story about her math teacher.
The most chill teacher on staff. She
I need to
described
see who
how
this math teacher
he
is.
came to the door
I
of
don't
the
know. I'm doing
classroom
research on these people that was
check out
killed.
what was going on in the hallway when all of the commotion started, and explains that that's when he was shot, and he was then laying in a pool of blood in the hallway.
Okay, I just have one question, and
all
y'all
of those
gonna
students
think
who were
I'm
in his
lying.
class
No,
would
not
have seen
lying.
that, they would have experienced it, and then had to go by him, just like this young girl who did. She said she was just up the hallway a little bit once that was happening, and she also described something pretty powerful as well, as far as once these students realized that this was not a drill, that this was an active shooter situation, once they came to that realization and started running for safety, that some students in other classrooms were opening the door to wave other kids in. I'm told that her friend she saw get yanked into one classroom right out of the hallway. And you have to think about it. At this point, I don't know if the hard lockdown was in place yet. Eventually, from what other students are telling us, that hard lockdown went into place. They all got that communication. So I'm not sure if it's before or after that. But regardless, kids are trying to get their fellow classmates to safety when you are, in a very fluid situation. Not only do you not know what's going on, but you don't know where that possible, where that gunman possibly is, or that suspect is in these kinds of situations. So these kids are still opening those classroom doors and trying to get their fellow students to safety. So I feel like that was just, a really powerful testament to these kids, and how thoughtful they are of others. Another student that we spoke to, I want you to hear his account. He described how he was listening to music very loudly, and even through that playlist, he describes how he started coming to that realization that, wow, this was an active shooter, and that this was happening. I want you to listen to his account.
Oh, so I just heard gunshots going off. I had my AirPods on full blast. I was blasting Ken Carson, and I heard gunshots go off, and I was like, oh crap. My friend pushed me to the ground. I thought it was fake until I heard more gunshots and screaming. I was like, oh. And then Yeah, they pushed me off to the side and they came in there told us to get our hands up. So we like got out and we were walking out, and then we walked past and like there was a room, and then there was a body, and there was like the gun laying on the ground with like the bullets and the blood.
Now, you just heard him talk about a gun laying on the ground. He also told me that gun, he says, was an AK. Another student also told me that was their belief as well. Now, as of right now, we have not got any type of confirmation about what types of weapons were or were not used in this school shooting. I did reach out to my sources at the sheriff's office. I was told at this time they can't confirm that an AK was involved, but they can't deny that either. So they are still going through this.
That just means they can't tell you yet till they get these loud story
and, of course, processing this scene. So at this point, we can't get a definite answer on that, but it is something that we are looking into, and hopefully we'll get more answers from the upcoming press conference with the sheriff's office at 4 in just a little bit. Another thing that you heard that student talk about was everyone kind of coming together, getting down. I do also want to describe to you what his friend talked to me about, which was the act of getting out of the classrooms. You know, they described how when law enforcement came in, they were all told to have their hands up. They were all led, as quickly as possible outside of that classroom, and law enforcement gained access to that particular classroom, he says, with a key. And this is after that hard lockdown had gone in place, and that notification had gone out to students through Smartboard, which is their communication system here at the school. He also described just how emotional it was going past those victims' bodies as they had to go down the hallway. Again, we are choosing not to show you some of the graphic video of where at least one of the victims' body was that was covered with a sheet and blood was coming through it. But in that video, we could see students having to pass it. There was no choice. You had to go past that body in order to get led
it
to
like
safety.
The same story at the shooting that happened here. The students had to walk past the body.
And feeling a lot, but they've seen a lot as well. Tom, Christine?
Just a couple real quick questions for you, Brittany. Number one, we don't know where on campus this shooting happened. In other words, in what building and what section of the school yet, do we?
I do not have exact locations, no. All that we have gotten from, and this is again through students, their firsthand accounts, which they have been bravely and calmly explaining to us through all of this graphic scene today. They have been calmly explaining their accounts. They have said that they were in a hallway, not exactly what building location, but in hallways. I've also spoken to a student in a teacher's classroom who was in the math teacher's classroom, and their parent, and that parent told me that their daughter contacted them and said, hey, there is an active shooting going on. Our classroom went out for a few minutes and then came back in with a gun. Now, we don't know exactly what transpired either beforehand. Was there some type of situation between a teacher and a student? Was there something unfolding between two fellow students that a teacher tried to break up?
Hold on. Now, this is something new that I didn't hear. She said that the mom of the student that was in the classroom said somebody left out of their classroom and came back with a gun. A pow. Sorry, YouTube. Let's hear that again. So the shooter, is that why the shooter's in custody? I know I just heard that. Let's hear that.
Someone left all of this graphic scene today. They have been calmly explaining their accounts. They have said that they were in a hallway, not exactly what building location, but in hallways. I've also spoken to a student in a teacher's classroom who was in the math teacher's classroom, and their parent, and that parent told me that their daughter contacted them and said, hey, there is an active shooting going on. Someone left our classroom, went out for a few minutes and then came back in with a gun. Now, we don't know exactly what transpired either beforehand. You know, was there some type of situation between a teacher and a student? Was there something unfolding between two fellow students that a teacher tried to break up? We don't know what really led up to that moment, only that a student left, came back, and then there was a shooting. And that is from a parent who talked to their child as they were picking her up, a freshman. He came out here to pick her up. So the specifics as far as like where everything was located in the building, we're not getting yet. But one thing that I am seeing, a common thread, is that a lot of students had to pass the hallway of at least one of the deceased victims. Again, 4 dead, 9 at area hospital. So a lot of students are having to walk by, and that's something that's definitely going to, stick with them. Think about it, whether it's a teacher or a student, these are folks that you pass in the hallway every day. Maybe you have class with, you share lunch, you share your lives, and they had to exit through that hallway and see those graphic scenes in order to get to safety. Tom?
And we just can't say it enough that our thoughts and prayers go out to the campus community there. Certainly all of the families who were impacted. Brittany, thanks. Just coming out of Brittany's piece and talking about, while we have gone to school in different generations.
They're still basically reporting live. Like they're staying live pretty much. Everybody else is not staying live. But yeah, so now we're hearing different things because the girl said as soon as the teacher peeked his head out the door, he was shot. So what I'm thinking is, if the girl said somebody left our room for a few minutes and came back with a gun, what if whoever left the room, I don't know, the student, whatever, they left the room for a few minutes, they came back, the teacher poked his head out to let them in because school doors are normally locked, and then he was shot by that student or whoever that was that left the room with the gun. To get the gun. Other than that, I can't come to any other conclusions. So yeah, when they give us more updates, I'll do a short on that update. But
no comment as to what they were doing, only to say that their business here was in fact connected to the Apalachee High School shooting in Winder. So we did see that happen today. This has been a very unfortunate situation. Lots of people stopping us, asking us, are you all here in connection with the school shooting? And lots of people, just very disappointed that that's where we are in this country, where all of these school shootings just become a normal, everyday activity. But that is what we have been seeing. And we've been talking to Grady officials, trying to get some more information about the patient here, whether it is a male or a female. They will not confirm that at this time. We've also been asking about the condition of the patient. No confirmation there as well. They have referred us to law enforcement for any updates. We're also, of course, looking for family members of the person who was injured. We have not seen any Barrow County tags, but we continue to look for that, as well as other law enforcement
9
officials.
take them to the hospital.
That is the very latest for you at Grady Memorial Hospital. Back to you in the studio.
All right, Angelique, thanks so much. You've been on the scene all morning. When that victim arrived, when the GBI arrived, interesting to note. So we got Newtown, Connecticut, Parkland, Florida, Uvalde, Texas, some of the most impacted school shootings. Angelique mentioned that it's, something that's happening all too often.
Anybody there from Tennessee?
And now what's happening here.
You didn't think about the Covenant shooting that just happened in Tennessee? What?
At about 10:20 this morning, local law enforcement descended on Apalachee High School up there in Barrow County in Winder. The Apalachee High School Wildcats, the high school campus where gunfire rang out. And there was a multi-agency response by law enforcement who swarmed that campus.
Yes, another
in
shooting,
the moments after reports of that shooting rang
in
out.
Apalachee High School in Georgia. 4 dead, 9 taken to the hospital.
Reporting casualties.
I guess it's a shooting.
We learned that As
Yeah,
recently as
tell
an
us
hour ago,
anything.
at least 4 people have died, and 9 were taken to area hospitals up in Northeast Georgia, the medical center there, in Gainesville, and in Barrow County to be treated for their injuries. And you saw from Angelique's live shot that at least one victim was taken to Grady's level 1 trauma unit.
That's right. And we don't know at this hour who is among the dead, whether they were students, whether they were faculty or staff. That is a question we hope to get answered here in the next 20 minutes when the Barrow County Sheriff's Office comes to the microphone. So many other questions we have. Who is this suspect that was taken into custody? Was this person a student? Was this person someone who used to go to the school? What are their names? This is a close-knit community. I would imagine people know
this
their
school
next-door
is
neighbor
big. Do y'all
by
see how
name,
big this high school
pretty well.
is?
Winder just being right along
Look at
Highway
this.
316. If you've made your way to Athens, you have driven through Winder where this has happened. It's more of a rural community, even though that's a school of 1,900, which is a lot of students.
Yeah.
I would imagine many of the people who live there in Winder
Almost
go to that
2,000
one high
students,
school.
y'all.
So everybody knows each other. So who are the identities of
I think the
some of
middle school
the
is right
people
there
who were
too.
deceased today and who were injured? Sadly, we hope this number does not increase. We've learned within the hour that 4 dead and 9 have been injured from the GBI. There has not been an update to that number. So hopefully we do not hear at 4 o'clock that there are any more fatalities or any more people who are
Well, it's
injured.
interesting, Christine,
Who
you
my
mentioned
father
that
ever?
this community brings in 1,900 people. It's
What's this
certainly a
about?
more dispersed area in terms of residential than you would get in a more concentrated area, say in Metro Atlanta. And yet,
Well,
this
I need to go
community
to the Mombos
probably
one then.
knows each other very, very well, even though there's upwards of 2,000
And I'm going to end this
students
anyway, so
on
I can.
campus. Fox 5's Eric Perry, you've been talking to both students and parents as they make their way off campus. And just hearing some of the emotional and alarming and tragic accounts of what happened there this morning.
Yeah, Tom. So you've also been seeing buses like this. They've been going in and out. Hi there. You've been seeing Barrow County buses going in and out probably the last 30 minutes. I've seen them coming here to the high school, but there's really a big line up there. I believe that's at the middle school that is in the back part, and that line has grown since we've talked last. There were just maybe 3 buses at the last point, but now there are more buses.
Why
To
are
your
they letting
point
them
about this
kids out of
community,
school?
everyone knowing each other, people on my Facebook
It's
page
3:41.
seeing that we're
School should
covering
be
this
out.
said that they grew up here. They don't live here anymore, but they know the principal. They know they have family members who go here. They know different people who are impacted directly by this. It's one of those places where you know everybody, from what I've been told. It's a tight-knit community. You might see people in the grocery store, and even if you move away, you still know everybody that is still here. You can still see a trickle of parents and their families coming out from behind, not being able to see, and you guys will have a better perspective if there's still a large group on that football field, but it doesn't seem as many parents and family members are coming out as we once saw at one point. We've seen more cars coming in and more first responders, and then of course we're getting ready to hopefully hear from the sheriff's office here and other top officials. That is set up right on the other side here as well. Again, we have seen a lot of different parents coming here, from elementary to middle to daycare, and then of course you have the parents here at the high school as well that is coming out as well. So we're hearing different things, but we're also talking to students. One lady earlier, we talked to her live on the air. You heard her. Her name was Camille. She said the gunman was in her classroom. It was her classmate. Tried to get inside of that classroom, but they would not let him in. She heard about 4 shots outside of that. Then he said further down, she heard it maybe next door, maybe heard about another couple of gunshots happening there, and then said going to different hallways. We've talked to
Told
different
y'all,
students.
so it
They
was
said
a
they had to walk
student,
out
y'all.
with their hands raised like this with law enforcement, and they said they ran from that back part to that safe space, which was the football field. And many people thought it was a drill. They practiced for this, so they didn't know if
This
it was
is in
a
Georgia.
drill or if this was something that was for
Outskirts
real
of
in
Atlanta,
this
Georgia.
incident. And unfortunately, this was there. But
Right
they
now.
do train for certain things like that. But one person said they just never know. And This is an ambulance that is going there with its siren. Northeast
Georgia right there.
They are not sure if there is anyone in the back, but he is rushing off down the street there. And then we've also seen parents. Are you guys just now coming from the football field? Are you guys coming from the football field? How long have you guys been out there? How long were you guys out there? Do you mind if we just ask just a quick question? So you guys were out there for 4 hours?
Oh my God.
This is live. How long have you guys been out there? I know you guys have had a long day.
I got out to school at like 11-ish because it happened during second period, so it was like 10:30, 10:20-ish.
We've seen tents back there. What are the different? Are there grief counselors?
Yes, there's grief counselors, and they're interrogating students that might have heard or seen something.
How are you processing all of this, family? This is a lot to go through. How are you processing this?
I'm trying to process it. It hasn't clicked yet. But I don't wish this on any parent in any country, anywhere. I felt my life flash before my eyes. Literally.
Did you hear the gunshots at all?
Yeah, I was in the hallway, so you could hear them like bang on the lockers and stuff, and then my teacher, she unfortunately, like left the classroom but came back. But she had like fallen, something had happened, and she screamed at us. And we were in a science classroom, so there's lab tables. So we all like book it for the lab tables. She closed the door, turns off the lights, and you could hear them rattle the door. And then a couple.
Them as in the gunmen or police?
So, well, it had just police. I didn't hear police shouting until like 5 minutes later or 10 minutes later. Because we heard the sirens first, and then like a couple moments later, you heard like police, sheriff. And then you could hear like before the police arrived, it was like, it didn't sound like a gun, but it sounded like, I was saying like a metal trash can, like going, and you could hear the kids screaming down my hallway. And then you heard more like of like hitting the lockers and stuff. And then eventually the police came, and walking out, you could see like what had happened. And then they took us off to the football field.
What grade are you in?
I'm in 10th grade.
Alrighty. Thank you guys so much. I know it has been a very, very long day for you guys. You guys have been listening to people who've been out on the football field for about 4 hours. Tom, Christine, they're still trying to process it. I think it's still haven't really sunken in what it is, but there are a lot of grateful parents, but they're also thinking about those 4 people who did not survive this. I'll toss it back to you guys.
Why somebody else said, why are they smiling? In these comments, somebody said, why are they smiling?
On her face. After hearing all this, one kid was listening to his AirPods and said, yeah, I heard some popping in the background, but I don't know if it's just the world we live in now where
I'm telling you,
the shock value of something like this, or perhaps these kids might still be in shock after something like this happens.
It's either shock or these kids are desensitized because so much this stuff just happens. I don't know. Maybe she wasn't meaning to smile. Oh, wow. Y'all, you can't make this up. Why Wall's whole family, Tim Wall's family, is for Trump? I don't know if they trolling or what, y'all. But before look at this, I'm not lying. Hold up.
That Tim Walz, Kamala Harris's vice presidential candidate, is crying right now as he watches his entire family endorse Donald Trump.
Look at this, his whole family.
Greatest troll maybe ever. Look at this. They go and they find these random, meaningless, obscure Donald Trump relatives, like far removed in his family tree, and then they give them book deals, right? To write all the mean things about Donald. They've never even met Donald Trump, right? Now here's Tim Walz's entire biological family, the direct family, saying we're Trump supporters. Look at
this is real family, y'all. Tim Walz, the vice president candidate.
Sisters, mother, all supporting Donald Trump in the greatest troll of all time. You can see here,
wow,
for Trump. This is Nebraska, and this is where he was born. This is where his family is. And this is where they've remained. This is seen by
hilarious.
millions of people, 32,000. Scott Pressler, are they registered to vote? Perfect. 144,000.
Well, shit.
Likes.
If Kamala family was over here, her dad, he would probably be for him too.
Tim Walz, right? Tim Walz looks really old for his age. And it's amazing how much the selling out of your own soul and your own family.
Yeah, look
you
at
marry
this
like
picture.
somebody in
This
the
is
teachers
hilarious.
union, right? You decide to just be this beta cock. You abandon your
Hold
troops.
up.
You
I'm sure we got
your
a
own
Trump
brigade,
commercial
right?
here. That's
Nebraska values are not represented by Tim Walz. This is true.
Look. Just in, Tim Walz's brother says he is considering joining forces with Trump. Says his brother is not the type of character you want making decisions about your future. Wow. Tim Walz's Facebook profile was discovered by Laura Loomer, who found several stunning posts. The stories I could tell, not the type of character you want making decisions about your future, he said in a comment. Having spoken to him in 8 years, I'm 100% opposed to all his ideology. My family wasn't given any notice that he was selected and denied security the days after. Oh, wow. All the comments stem from a March 30th. Hold up. From a March 30th, 2023 post after Trump was convicted, where Jeff Walz said, "We've just become a third world banana republic."
On the heels of Tim Walz's brother, who lives in Florida, saying that his brother is a very, very bad person. I haven't spoken with him in 8 years. I'm 100% opposed to his ideology. My family wasn't given any notice that he was selected and denied security the days later.
Wow.
So Tim Walz, total scumbag, doesn't even speak with his family. You can't even trust a guy like that.
Right, and want tampons in the boys'
bathroom. The Walz family on the road. Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
The photo. Very much Jeff, talking about Jeff Walz. It's a great honor to have your endorsement. I look forward to meeting you soon.
Trump and the Tim Walz family.
Memes. Great account. Follow it. Walz for Trump. Tim Walz getting a MAGA hat for Christmas.
This is hilarious.
In bombshell leaked photo. Oh, baby. New leaked image shows family members, presidential candidate Tim Walz supporting his Republican rival.
You cannot make this up, y'all.
Oh, man.
You cannot make this up. This must say the photo shared by former Nebraska GOP candidate Charles W. Harpster shows 8 people wearing Nebraska Waltz for Trump's t-shirts. Let's see. It said Tim Walt's family back in Nebraska wants you to know something. Hell no, y'all.
Oh, man. And I was feeling the same way. My brother did on these issues. I'm trying to clarify that just to friends.
Oh, see, that's what I said. See, Facebook tried to block my stuff, and I'm gonna show you. And Facebook has been censoring stuff. Basically, Mark Zuckerberg had to expose it. He said, "I'm 100% opposed to all his ideologies," he said in one of the posts. But Jeff now admits he didn't mean to influence voters with his social media activity. It wasn't my intent. It wasn't our intent as a family to put something out there to influence the general public, Jeff Walz told News Nation. I was getting a lot of feedback from my friends, old acquaintances, thinking I was feeling the same way that my brother did on the issues. And I was trying to clarify that just to friends. He continued, I use Facebook, which wasn't the right platform to do that. But I will say I don't agree with his policies. Y'all hear that? Okay. Trump posted on Truth Social on Wednesday the image of Tim Walz's family and said he plans to meet the Walz brother. Thank you very much, Jeff. The former president wrote, "It's a great honor to have your endorsement. I look forward to meeting you." Wow. Tim Walz's strange brother, Jeff, pictured with his wife, Lori, said on Facebook last week that the Minnesota governor is not the type of character you want making decisions about your future. Okay. Tim Walz's brother, 100% older brother, is 100% opposed to all his ideology, believes VP Hopeful is not the type of character who should make decisions about U.S. future. Wow. That mud has went wild. Yeah, that is hilarious. Let's see what Trump got to say. This is my last little part. He was in Philly. Oh, I didn't mean to.
With the people that are going to protect election, and we're going to keep up TrumpForce47.com. You care about.
Oh, I thought he actually said something. So yeah. Let's see if I got any updates on the shooting.
We're talking about, according to ABC News, a 14-year-old here. So this is a very sensitive situation.
Oh my God, listen.
Not just the victims that were tragic, but we're talking about a juvenile, a 14-year-old child, allegedly, as the shooter. So we want to be very careful.
Y'all, a 14-year-old is the shooter. What are they trying to push to us? Hold up.
One and the same, but at least two, from what students are saying, opening these doors and getting shot.
Y'all, they just said a 14-year-old is the shooter.
There as well. We can pan and show you what we're looking at on the other way, which is where all this information, the very best information, is going to come from. And you can see Tom Jones there right in the center of it, the literal center of where we expect to be updated by authorities here in about 5 minutes. We're keeping an eye on that GBI tent as well as they come out. So we're working our sources. We're calling different law enforcement agencies here in Barrow County, at the GBI, at GMA, but we're being very careful about that information to make sure we get clear, accurate.
Y'all, it is a 14-year-old shooter.
Beyond the authorities here, but we want to make sure we give viewers the information they need and that they're looking for.
Justin Gray, one of our investigators here as part of our live Team 2 coverage today. Justin Gray, thank you.
And you're looking right now at what is Restoration Church. They are going to be holding a community prayer service this evening at 7 p.m. This is in Bethlehem, Georgia, not too far from where Apalachee High School is on 1250 Tom Miller Road. But this is just one sign, if you will, of showing the community coming together and really uniting in prayer and just being there for one another as a community, as people really need each other right now, need each other's strength to get through the unthinkable that happened at Apalachee High School today.
Because as human beings, what we want to do is we want to be together, right? We want to share. We want to comfort. So what's going to happen at a church service or any gathering is people are going to.
No, I did not pause it, so why is it paused? Okay, so now they pushing Harris. Okay. It's just outrageous. Parents have to worry if their children will come home from school. The same parents that you're trying to arrest if their children don't come to school because of stuff like this. Them ones. How would you know? You don't have any children.
Mama.
What, Shala? Come on.
Yeah, the initial calls came in, unconfirmed reports of an active shooter.
Yeah, y'all. So this is a whole 14-year-old they're saying.
Mama, open these. I haven't even had a drink.
Okay. Attended tonight as people look to lean on each other to get that strength to get through the awful news of today, where we know that 4 people are dead, 9 people are injured after a mass shooting at Apalachee.
I don't know, y'all, but this video keep freezing for some reason.
Some very latest information. What we saw
from the news chopper view was someone being taken away on a stretcher in a medical ambulance. We don't know the condition of that person at this time. At that point, we began looking around at all of the professional staff there, the law enforcement, the medical staff, the parents who were showing up at the school as well.
It was a
just
school
to
shooting.
make sure that their kids are okay. We got calls here to WSB TV, Channel 2 Action News, and parents are wondering what's going on.
It was a 14-year-old student.
And we're working to get the very latest information on that.
Yeah, they just, because that's the thing, I've been on different platforms, and that's how I'm hearing different stories first.
The wide view of the high school there, the Apalachee High School in Barrow County, a lot of activity.
You know, it's election time. They're trying to scare us, trying to take away our guns.
We don't know if the situation has come.
He didn't go.
Right now, what we do know is
that
there's a possible active shooting situation at that school. The students have been on the football field for pretty much the past 45 minutes, from what I can see, or even a bit longer. And that for a time.
Well, you're lying. They've been
on the track. But what you've seen the past few minutes is they've broken off into the football field, into the end zone, circles. You might imagine prayer circles, just to try to help each other through the situation. And as we go back to the area closer to the high school, you see a lot of people. I'm assuming those are police officers, law enforcement there, and nobody seems to really be running around. The activity has seemed pretty much calm, pretty much dedicated to certain areas, and we are working to get the latest information on this. And right now, I'm joined by Channel 2 Action News' Linda Stouffer, who's sitting down with me right now. And Linda, you just got some new information.
Fred, I'm joining you for this live continuing.
I've got some new information.
Emergency happening right now in Barrow County at Apalachee High School. The school has cleared students to go
She
home.
said school. She went to school.
What you mean? Okay, Journey ain't got to school?
No.
Why?
Ask Journey.
You didn't want to. What you mean?
I thought you wanted to. That's why I sent you. Your note was for you to be out for today. So that was your decision.
County reports of an active shooting situation there at the school. The moment we learned about this, our crews fanned out, got to the school, made the phone calls, and trying to get the very latest information. What we saw from the news chopper view was someone being taken away on a stretcher in a medical ambulance. We don't know the condition of that person at this time. But at that point, we began looking around at all of the professional staff there, the law enforcement, the medical staff, the parents who were showing up at the school as well, just to make sure that their kids are okay. We got calls here to WSB TV, Channel 2 Action News, and parents are wondering what's going on, and we're working to get the very latest information on that for you right now. Live view from News Chopper 2, and as you can see, the wide view of the high school there in Apalachee High School in Barrow County. A lot of activity there, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be ending anytime soon. We don't know if the situation has come to an end. Right now, what we do know is that there's a possible active shooting situation at that school. The students have been on the football field for pretty much the past.
Oh, wait a minute. This, my bad, this keeps showing the same thing. I'm thinking it's showing some live.
My family.
Some of these students have with teachers and faculty as we look at live pictures from Sky Fox 5 of the staging area of the news conference, which we're expecting here now, reported to happen at 4:30 today. From state and local officials, the camera crews are gathering, anticipating some updated information in the aftermath of today's school shooting up in Barrow County.
Yeah, Sheriff Judd Smith did speak at the microphone earlier this afternoon and prefaced that press conference by saying he's not going to give out a lot of information at that moment. That was a few hours ago.
Yes, this
point,
is live, Jordan.
On the 1 o'clock hour, saying that they still want to do their investigative process.
Right now,
take the necessary
it's
steps
live.
To make sure
happening
the
right
next
now
time they come to the microphone, which again, as Tom said, is not going to be happening at 4:30. they're going to be able to give you, the public, the media, details about what happened here.
Yes,
Since that
it's live,
time,
Jordan.
at that point, we only knew of
And
casualties.
this is happening
They had only
now.
reported that casualties did happen here at the high school, and we have since learned more specifics that 4 total were killed today, and 9 others taken to the hospital.
Our team of reporters are fanned out across campus there. We're going to hit Kevin Stewart in just a second, who's been talking to students and parents as they've been making their way onto campus. But we want to sort of set the table as to the events that transpired today. They're up at Apalachee High School in Barrow County at 10:23. Gunfire rang out.
There's 9,000 people watching this.
Police forces
now.
Responded
And it is
up
live,
to
like
and
I said.
including the GBI when a gunman was taken into custody after fatally shooting at least 4 people there on the campus and injuring 9 others who were taken to area hospitals, including Northeast Georgia
They
Medical.
said the suspect is a 14-year-old student.
For traumatic injuries
And he's in custody.
and anxiety as well. This campus was sent into
Shot the
chaos
math
as
teacher.
students evacuated both out onto
Other
the football
teachers.
field
I don't know who
and in
else.
front of campus. And then you can
But
see
he not
there
dead.
toward the top of your screen that roadway, which also passes a junior high school and an elementary school, which were also
Alright,
put
so they
on
got
temporary
elementary,
lockdown,
junior, middle,
before
and
they
high all in
captured the
one.
suspect that entered the grounds of Apalachee High and fatally inflicted those gunshot wounds on those 4 victims and 9 others. The roadway was shut down, and parents were forced to walk over a mile to retrieve their students who they were getting text messages from as to exactly what was unfolding on campus there.
And picking up their students was a process. Many of the students we saw gathered at the stadium, the football stadium there, sitting
Every
in the
time I say I'm
bleachers.
finna get off here, I
And it was a
don't.
process. It wasn't
Because
like
they
the
come up
parents
with a
could
new
just come up and
update.
say, I'm here for Jimmy, and they could just
I might as
go.
well just stay
They
for the
had
press
to
conference
question
at
the
4:30.
student, as
Well,
they were
really
continuing
3:30
to try to
my
get more
time.
information about this investigation, make sure the student who was being released wasn't involved in any way. And they had to make sure they identified and can prove who they say they were, and to make sure that the parent was the proper parent or guardian.
School just started,
who was
Jordan,
able
right.
to take that
Well,
student
my
from
kids been in
campus.
school since
So,
August the 5th,
imagine walking
August the
that
6th. So
that
they've been in
distance,
there
that
almost a
1+
month. But yeah,
mile
you're right.
distance for these parents, then to get to the stadium and continue to have to go through, understandably, a more detailed process to make sure the students go home with the proper person. Then you have those students who didn't have the luxury of having a parent who can come pick them up. They had to be taken home by bus. We did see a couple buses here in the last 30 minutes.
They
or
said
so,
14 years
exit
old.
the
Like, that was the
campus,
breaking news because that was the thing.
making their way.
We were trying to figure out, okay, how did the gunman
Just
get
wanted
into
to hug your
school?
kid after hearing something like this. A lot of those parents,
And then
since it happened late in the morning, were already at
it was
work,
like,
unable to.
how did the gunman get
quickly
in school?
respond and
But
get
then
over there.
we cut this
Let's
down
get out to
some.
Fox 5's Eric Perry, who encountered.
But then when they interviewed the girl, she was like, when
a
my
lot
teacher
of those
stuck her
students
head
and
out the
parents,
door, he
Kevin,
was immediately
we
shot.
talked about the relationships
Then
that these
another
students have with
news
the
lady
faculty.
said that
It's
a
certainly
daughter, a
different, I
lady,
believe,
she
in today's
interviewed
day and
a
age.
daughter, a lady
Christine and I
whose
went to
daughter
high
was in the
school.
classroom, and the girl
the
said
closeness they have
a
sometimes,
person left out of their
especially
class.
if
She
they're
didn't
involved in
say
high
who,
school
because
sports,
of course
they're involved
they didn't want to say
with their
that.
families and
Left
their
out of our
academic
class
success. It just
and
feels
came
like
back in a couple of minutes
closer
with a gun.
school environment today.
Then after that, they came back and they just said
Yeah, you know,
that the suspect
when you
is
go
allegedly
to
14 years
the kind of
old.
the ex-urban or rural areas, there
Wait a
is
minute.
a
So I
clear,
wish I could go
difference in
back.
terms of that
I don't
sense
even remember
of
where it was when the
community,
lady
because everybody
said
knows
that.
each other.
But
and
what
there's
I
such
want to
a,
know is why this girl was
collegialness. I mean,
laughing.
we had
But
someone just a few moments ago offer us some water. It's so appreciated. Folks are coming together.
here it is right here. I think this is what the lady said.
And right
Right
now,
here.
again,
Listen,
after
listen.
this just happened, very
Let me-
calm, the section of the school. What kind of changes could possibly come down the pipe as far as security, right? You know, multiple students confirmed to me that there are no metal detectors on campus. And
No metal
what kind of long-term
detectors.
changes to the school, and what kind of help could these kids be getting after experiencing everything today? Tom, Christine?
I'm wondering too, Brittany, you talk about these students being so brave when you're talking to them, getting their eyewitness accounts, and as they're leaving the campus, did you see any other students or families who were too emotional?
They gonna ban all the guns, and all the Venezuelans that stole the guns gonna move in and take your home.
Them at how well they're able to eloquently tell us what they witnessed. Yes. Have you seen?
Look, even the
opposite
news, like, why are these children so not distraught? Either because this is staged or they're just desensitized because this stuff happens every day. And then the video games that they play and then the stuff that they watch on TikTok. You can see somebody get unalived on TikTok, on Twitter, like they used to it. Or this is not real. One of the two.
Other students and families exit the campus.
I really just want to hit home the fact.
I definitely know the game plan to follow.
Christine, as you just mentioned, of these young kids. I mean, they are openly and they are eagerly wanting to share what happened. This was their school. This was their classmates, their teachers.
Listen to this.
Favorite math teacher of one girl.
A favorite math teacher.
Spoke so eloquently, so detailed. Really gave.
What's the detail? She learned the script.
You have to remember, these are 9th graders, 10th graders, some 11th. I haven't even spoken with a high school senior today. A lot of them are the younger class that have described what happened. And now the sophomore that I just spoke to said, the section of the school where that J hallway is impacted a lot of the 9th graders. So you're talking about the youngest kids in the school, likely either experiencing the shooting or again having to go down the hallway, but they are speaking with us. And right now, again, after this just happened, very calmly, and when we approach folks on a story like this and ask if you want to share what happened and speak with us, it can be met with different reactions. And one thing that we always do is approach it in a respectful way and make sure we make these young folks feel comfortable and also get parental consent for those interviews. But all of these kids, they looked to the parents and the parents said, yeah, go ahead. And they have wanted to speak to the press. They want everyone to know what happened. They want the word to get out and this story to be shared. So they have all really given just such detailed accounts of what happened and just bravely shared the details of what they heard, what they saw, and like what their experience right now.
Yeah, we're going to hear a lot of stories, no doubt, of heroism and bravery in the aftermath of what happened today. Brittany, thanks. And as we mentioned, the closeness that some of these students have with teachers and faculty, as we look at live pictures from Skyfox 5 of the staging area of the news conference, which we're expecting.
I'm looking for when she said that. Okay, listen to this and y'all tell me if she laughing or if I'm just tripping.
Parents, are you guys just now coming from the football field? Are you guys coming from the football field? How long have you guys been out there? How long were you guys out there? Do you mind if we just ask just a quick question? So you guys were out there for 4 hours?
Just listen to this part, y'all.
This is live. How long have you guys been out there? I know you guys have had a long day.
I got out to school at like 11-ish because it happened during second period, so it was like 10:30, 10:20-ish.
We've seen tents back there. What are the different? Are there grief counselors?
Yes, there's grief counselors, and they're interrogating students that might have heard or seen something.
How are you processing all of this, family? This is a lot to go through. How are you processing this?
I'm trying to process it. It hasn't clicked yet. But I don't wish this on any parent in any country, anywhere. I felt my life flash before my eyes.
She had to make sure she said that. Any parent in any country. Of course we don't.
So, you could hear them like bang on the lockers and stuff. And then my teacher, she unfortunately, like left the classroom but came back. But she had like fallen, something happened, and she screamed at us. And we were in a science classroom, so there's lab tables. So we all like looking for the lab tables. She closed the door, turns off the lights, and you could hear them rattle the door. And then a couple.
Them as in the gunmen or police?
So, well, it had just police. I didn't hear police shouting until like 5 minutes later or 10 minutes later. Because we heard the sirens first, and then like a couple moments later, we heard like police, sheriff. And then you could hear like before the police arrived, it was like, it didn't sound like a gun, but it sounded like I was seeing like a metal trash can, like going, and you could hear the kids screaming down my hallway, and then you heard more like hitting the lockers and stuff, and then eventually the police came, and walking out, you could see like what had happened, and then they took us off to the football field.
What grade are you in?
I'm in 10th grade.
Already. Thank you guys so much. I know it has been a
Why
very,
is she
very long day
smiling?
for you guys. You guys have been listening to people who've been out on the football field for about 4 hours, Tom, Christine. They're still trying to process it. I think it's still haven't really sunken in what it is, but there are a lot of grateful parents, but they're also thinking about those 4 people who did not survive this. I'll toss it back to you guys.
Just remarkable, Eric. Thanks for that live report. How composed.
Maybe this is what she said. It was a 14-year-old student.
Left, came back.
Wait a minute, right here. Listen to this.
Them and said, "Hey."
Listen.
In a hallway, calmly explaining to us through all of this graphic scene today. They have been calmly explaining their accounts. They have said that they were in a hallway, not exactly what building location, but in hallways. I've also spoken to a student in a teacher's classroom who was in the math teacher's classroom, and their parent, and that parent told me that their daughter contacted them and said, "Hey, there is an active shooting going on. Someone left our classroom, went out for a few minutes, and then came back in with a gun." Now, we don't know exactly what transpired either beforehand. You know, was there some type of situation between a teacher and a student? Was there something unfolding between 2 fellow students that a teacher tried to break up? We don't know what really led up to that moment, only that a student left, came back, and then there was a shooting, and that is from a parent who talked to their child as they were picking her up, a freshman. He came out here to pick her up. So the specifics as far as like where everything was located in the building, we're not getting yet. But one thing that I am seeing, a common thread, is that a lot of students had to pass the hallway of at least one of the deceased victims. Again, 4 dead, 9 at area hospital. So a lot of students are having to walk by, and that's something that's definitely going to, stick with them. Think about it, whether it's a teacher or a student, these are folks that you pass in the hallway every day. Maybe you have class with, you share lunch, you share your lives, and they had to exit through that hallway and see those graphic scenes in order to get to safety. Tom?
And we just can't say it enough that our thoughts and prayers go out to the campus community there. Certainly all of the families who were impacted. Brittany, thanks.
Still can't find it.
It's coming out of Brittany's piece and talking about, while we have gone to school in different generations and might have had different relationships with our teachers, I get the sense as a parent, and I'm sure you do too, that children have
one more spot. Maybe this is it.
Experienced it and then had to go by him, just like this young girl who did. She said she was just up the hallway a little bit once that was happening, and she also described something pretty powerful as well, as far as once these students realized that this was not a drill, if this was an active shooter situation, once they came to that realization and started running for safety, that some students in other classrooms were opening the door.
I can't find it, y'all, but my phone on 3%, so I have to end this live. But yeah, definitely it's an active shooting, so I want to go check it out. I may come back on my computer on stream, y'all, and just stream it.
And lost and their loved ones, when that becomes
Yeah, they have the press conference. It's going to start in 14 minutes.
Now that we want to continue.
And back here.
Yeah, I'm going to leave and come back live on stream, y'all, so I'll be back. Right, default staging this, not one girl. Only interviewing one girl. What about all the other 1,900 students? All right, y'all, hit the like button. It's free. Share this story. And, let me be quiet for they clap my video. Peace out.